Are you kidding me? Oh my gosh. Hello everyone, I'm JustHearMeowt. Welcome to my channel, and I got a phone going alarm off somewhere here. Day 13 of the Kouri Richins trial, and honestly, at the end of this is how I felt. It became painfully clear what the defense has been doing over the past few days, in addition to being terrible at it. I just can't believe it actually happened, but we'll talk about it. We've got the trial boiled down to about just a little over an hour worth of footage with almost everything except for the Rule 17 objection. But for those of you who are joining us for the first time, my name is JustHearMeowt. This is a commentary channel. I will be pausing and making commentary during the video. So if that's not for you, that's fine. But if you like that kind of stuff, go ahead and subscribe so you don't miss any of the action here. We've got plenty of playlists in the description of this video for the different subjects, such as Sarah Boone, Diane Downs, Robert Tellis, Kouri Richins. But this is, I don't know. We will get this figured out. We'll talk about what we think happened, all your theories. And of course, yes, everyone wants to hear me say, I was wrong. She's not testifying. Well, I gotta get a new keyboard again now. Hello, everyone. How are you doing? I forgot to mention also, please hit the like button and hello to the replay crew and everyone here with us live. Well, yeah, there's no getting around it. Why don't we bring our guest up here, sick? You all know her as Summa Cum Loudmouth. How are you, Summa?
Good, and you?
I mean, I have so many.
As well as we can be under these.
As well as we can be after what we did. Like I said, I sent the clip to you last night saying, oh, I have so many uses for this. And I immediately found one use.
You asked and the world provided.
Yeah, I know. Yeah, so for those of you who aren't aware, today was the last day of evidence because well, let me back that up a sec. There was a lot of pre-jury argumentation over texts, over this guy, David Norris, and the defense basically wanting to jury rig stuff into a witness that didn't have the foundation to present it to, that had already been ruled on by the judge as being limited. And it was just all day. We were just like, what are we doing? I thought they were just delaying it because they didn't have anything ready and they were just waiting until next week. But now we know what they were doing, because as soon as they finished their cross of Detective O'Driscole, is it O'Driscole or Driscoll? I thought it was O'Driscole.
I don't know.
Whatever. And that was it. State rested, and then they rested without calling any witnesses. So
you think that was their plan all along?
It's been their plan for a while.
Really?
Yeah, based on the horse.
I mean, we can't go by you. We can't go by you because you were the one.
No. In retrospect, that's obviously what they were doing, right?
He was gonna. I don't think so, but.
So all the scope objections, just like Cliff pointed out, right? Mm-hmm. Because they're so bad at everything else, I just assumed they're bad at getting questions out. They don't understand how hearsay works and everything. But they were obviously trying to force feed it through the state witnesses so they didn't have to put anyone on and they could get their bullshit in. But let's just start it up and we'll...
I mean, I also... Sorry, but I don't know. They claim to have this whole long list of witnesses.
They did. They had like 100 witnesses.
But they did have them, right? Like that has to be provided to the...
Yes, you have to do, like it's pre-trial or discovery, right?
They couldn't just come up with that on Monday or whatever. They have to have that.
You don't trust my opinions? Well,
of course not, because wrong.
I don't remember saying wrong.
I don't know if Joe is kidding, but I am. I do trust your opinions.
Hey, and just for the record, Robin the ADR Pro also was sure she was going to testify.
You know what's funny is that was the only reason I thought maybe she will. No offense. But the argument she gave was very good.
And now her little looks take on a completely different meaning when she's going like this to witnesses.
Yeah.
It's because she knows the defense has told her, hey, if we can get everything we need in on the state's witnesses, then, you know, we won't have to put on a case and then they can't do a rebuttal.
I know, Joe.
Are you worried she's going to get acquitted? I'm not.
I'm not worried, no. But what I think is interesting is that that's how terrible, well, that's what a bad case they have for the defense, and how terrible this defense team was the best thing they could have done was just stop, and that's what they did. I know.
It's ironically the best and most bullshit. Go ahead.
Yeah, they should have stopped earlier. They should have thrown a few things out there and not wasted everyone's time on all this nonsense. They should have been somewhere between what they were, minus all the fucking nasty, and what Chandler Halderson's was, with no questions. You know, they should have found a middle ground there, in my opinion. Just enough questions to plant the seed of doubt and then stop. Don't continue on.
Right. Postman Jr. says it's bullshit. The jury won't have all the critical evidence they need to convict her. Yeah, they do. If the prosecution hasn't put everything in that they need, then that would be a huge mistake. You put everything in the first time, you don't save anything.
I'm just curious what they don't have.
Tomorrow's Friday the 13th, but we got our hellish 13th day today. Hopefully, but hoping the jury is going to do the right thing. Okay, so $4.99. Thank you very much, Polynomial Pyramid. I guess we'll have this discussion before we get to the recap. But here's my problem. I think somebody else said that the lawyer know a lot of K-Dog fans in there and stands.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so what I've seen in different chats, like I've said, is usually these idiots that just keep saying, there's no proof of how it got in him. And there's no proof of how it got in him. Right? There's no, you know, so, and then they think they're very, very scholarly. They're like, like quoting stuff like trial on sand is reversed. It will be reversed. It will be reversed on error. So here's my question I pose to you.
Mm-hmm.
What exactly could the state have produced to show that she fed him the fentanyl in the drink?
Other than a video of her doing it, or
her getting up on the stand and saying she did it.
And confessing,
those two were never going to happen.
That's why I don't understand why it's so. I mean, I understand what circumstantial means, but they always use that example of like circumstantial is if you walk outside and everyone's holding umbrellas and they're wet, you can assume it just rained if it's not raining. And that's pretty compelling, in my opinion.
Right.
That's enough.
So I don't understand that argument at all, because then why do you even have trials anymore? Unless you have the crime on tape or eyewitness.
Yeah, and I really do think that some of those. So when I was in a chat, looking at a chat last night, and someone said something like, you know, they're alluding to the fact that they're lying about so much evidence and not all the truth is coming out.
The state is.
Yeah, like the gifts were it wasn't proven that the gifts were from Kouri's phone.
Yeah, they were on Kouri's phone.
No, he was saying they were actually from Eric, and I was like, I think they were sent after he died, though.
Yeah, she accessed him that morning. So they cleared that up today, right? Kind of.
They did. I don't know.
I felt like they did.
I didn't even know that was an issue, really.
But why are you even looking at the gifts? Okay, let's say she was sending them. Why is she opening, scrolling, and looking through them, you know, right as he's wheeled out of the house? Like, what are you still doing? But the one thing you could maybe say is there's no direct evidence of the fentanyl being, you could, like, if you don't believe Carmen or the taped interview of the drug dealer or any of the cell phone evidence or the check or the timing of this stuff, right? If you consider that all to be, well, you never know what they were doing, even though it all matches up, I guess that would be your one place of saying, well, there's no proof she got the fentanyl. But then again, you go back to, well, how did he get the fentanyl in him? Because you have zero evidence that Eric ever bought fentanyl or any drugs or used fentanyl.
Yeah. The one thing that what I didn't understand, and maybe you can clarify this for me because I'm not good at this kind of stuff, is what were they talking about the night before, where he was or what he was doing with Mexico or something?
What do you mean? Like, there's a couple things.
I don't know.
The day before, so they were talking about the day before with him sending a picture of the gravel, right?
Okay, yeah.
And then the night before, he was supposedly talking to somebody in Mexico about getting some ram's horns, but they want to intimate that, it was going down to, get the next buy.
What's he need ram horns for? Come on. I hate these people.
Well, I assume he shot the ram.
Don't be so sure. Sometimes they take them off the animals. I don't want to talk about it.
Right. So that seems like burden shifting. What do you mean? No. The prosecution has proved he has fentanyl in him and is saying it was consumed orally, and there is zero evidence of him ever using fentanyl. Yeah. If the defense has some evidence of him having a drug addiction, they would need to do that, because otherwise the scenario where he's not a pill popping fent head or whatever, just proved by his liver, right? Then somebody gave it to him orally, and he took all the pills in the house?
It still doesn't look, it still doesn't look good, because she was so dead set on telling the authorities that he never does drugs. He never does drugs. So either she was lying to the authorities, which, I mean, she wasn't lying not to lie, but there was so much there. And then the walk the dog letter, it was all just every part of it, other than, her face alone says that she's up to no good. Every part of it. Nothing was consistent or honest with her.
So with that having been said, my main point is, if for some reason she doesn't get convicted, it's the stupidity of the jury. It is not because of the effectiveness of this defense team. And all the K-Dog fans are gonna be like, no, the defense, they just proved their case. Right? No, they didn't. Because if they were good at what they did, they would have made it much shorter. And they wouldn't have elicited so much bad testimony from the state's witnesses.
Yeah, they wouldn't, and they would have made the jury, what I imagine, was dislike them. I would imagine that the jury was not fond of them for a lot of reasons, and that does not help. And look, there's always what I call the Casey Anthony effect. Of course, you never know, but I would be surprised if 12 relatively normal people didn't walk away thinking, no, they could feel that it's not within reasonable doubt, or whatever the thing is, but.
Well, I think they're heavily leaning on a Casey Anthony type outcome, right? When at the end of the day, they're like, they can't tell us how it got in, just like in the interview, right? They can't say how it got in him orally.
Yeah, look, Chandler Halderson's lawyers did the same thing. They're like, they don't even know how they died.
Right, I know it's.
And
you don't know what happened. You don't know what happened. Was it a horrible accident?
Yeah, right. Right. The two of them just dismembered themselves and threw themselves into his girlfriend's, but there wasn't, that was mostly circumstantial too, if you look at it that way. Same kind of stuff. Google searches.
Right. So, compare this lawyer team to Brian Walsh. Now, Brian Walsh trial was a snooze fest, right? But his lawyers, as annoying as they were with going into details and just seeming to trying to make it seem not as certain. I don't remember any times where they asked a question and they got a response from the witness, right? Yeah. They are actual good lawyers with a shitty case. These are shitty lawyers with a shitty case, and as Cliff pointed out, because I told him I was thinking the same thing, I feel like they think they have, even if she gets convicted, it'll be reversed on appeal because of 20 different reasons in their opinion. And maybe that's what they told Kouri, because Corey's like, oh, yeah, it's so ridiculous what they're doing. They're objecting. She does so many looks at the prosecutor. I notice now more when, he objects and she's like, rolling her eyes, staring him down as he's going up there. Like, what are you doing? But let's get into it. Welcome, everyone.
I like producer from Motown Pictures. I have a suspicion who that might be.
By confirming whether or not there's any legal discussion we need to have regarding the text message excerpt that the defense offered during cross-examination of Detective O'Driscoll at the end of the day.
Yes, Your Honor, I think we do. May I stay seated so I can read my...
Of course.
Okay, just 1 second. Let me pull it up.
If we can all look at it at the same time, I'd appreciate it, Kate.
Okay. So it's up on the screen right now. So it starts with Bates number state
Fixing the pictures here.
STATE 0335281. And this was produced to us
There we go.
before the state went through and updated the time. So this is on UTC time instead of mountain time.
Okay.
At some point in this case, and there have been so many supplemental, I think we're on our 10th exhibit list. I think we're, anyway, hundreds and hundreds and hundreds and hundreds of alterations and substitutions. But this is the one we got before they had changed the UTC time, which was confusing to everybody. And so they went back and redid that. This version, they had not changed it yet to mountain time. This is a consecutively numbered.
Buzzman Jr., Hayden Jeff's interview. If she gets acquitted, his death is the sole reason she would have or have been acquitted. If he didn't die, she's toast. Because that's the person she's asking him on the phone, hey, can I get some fentanyl? And he's like, why are you messing with fentanyl? What do you mean the Michael Jackson stuff, propofol? What are you talking about?
And I don't know why his girlfriend or whatever she was so against helping out the
Because the
investigation.
detective pissed her off.
So? Well, he pissed her off because she was not helping him, right?
Women.
Yeah, broads.
Dames.
It's numbered document. There's no pages missing. This is coming from a Celebrite extraction of Eric's phone that was seized by Mr. O'Driscoll. We just found the Celebrite and extract.
Yes, it's clear why they're doing all this shit now during the day and yesterday, but it's very frustrating. Even at the end, they had an hour and a half break, and then they sit there, and then they're like, asked, well, who are you going to bring up next? And then they're like, can we have a moment? We rest. You didn't just decide that.
No.
What is the deal here? Why are you dragging this out?
I don't know why they did that. And I mean, I feel like that wasn't their plan all along, certainly. If it
Not
was
all along.
I
would say.
I mean, I don't think when they asked for the continuance for 2 days, I don't think it was their plan to do this. I think they were desperately searching for, something. And then they came up with the ideas that they proposed to him this morning about, basically just only asking the questions they wanted to ask and then muting everything, which they weren't allowed to do, of course. That's how it seemed.
I mean, they probably had an idea in the back of their heads sometime, but then I think once they got through the walk the dog and everything yesterday and they felt they didn't get scathed enough or injured enough, they're like, oh yeah, we could probably move on. Yeah. When they moved for mistrial and lost, which time?
Yeah.
By Miss Gibson.
Can you?
Good.
It just makes that interview they did even more stupider.
Right. In her interview, stupider.
Yeah.
And their whole thing of two sides of the story. Well, you didn't tell a second side.
Nada.
Show me the Cellbrite
Yes,
version.
sir. We can, and we're pulling it up right now.
It's a very big file, so what I've got Katie, the cover page, and then I'm working on the box download, so she could download it.
Forgive, and this is a nuts and bolts question.
Sure.
Forgive my ignorance. I'm looking at one page that shows 3 text messages total.
Right.
Typically, these are a complete string that has a Cellbrite header. Where is that version of this text?
So not all of the ones we've introduced in this trial have the Cellbrite
So I missed the point of this whole thing. They're talking about UTC for something.
header. Only some
I don't even know
of
what
them,
text
not
message
all
they're
of them.
talking about.
Is that true? I thought
That's
all
true.
of them had the Cellbrite header.
No, that is not.
Hold on, let's pause there for a second, because I think that's how we've been laying
Rule
foundation
17
for the
motion.
admission of them so far. Foundation. Mr. Bloodworth, is my memory correct? Unless they came from, I mean, we've had CDR-related metadata regarding text messages. We've had some non-bubble related or non-bubble depicted
Correct.
cell messages that have come out of other extractions. But in terms of blue and green bubble, I thought all of them had a Celebrite header.
Yeah, I believe that's right, Your Honor. If we prepared an exhibit that comes from a Celebrite extraction, it has the Celebrite header.
Right.
There's others where we just, we've got texts from other means. Somebody sent us, forwarded us text, right?
Right.
But if
Screenshots, for example.
correct,
Yeah.
if it comes from a Celebrite extract, as best I recall, it has the Celebrite header.
Okay. Ms. Nestor, I'll give you the record back here in a second, but it's also unclear to me, is this 3 text messages that we're talking about, are they part of a larger exchange that has already been admitted?
So these are all the text messages he had with Kouri on the day he passed, on the 3rd.
On the 3rd or the 4th?
He died early morning in the 4th. So it's from the 3rd.
Okay. These 3 bubbles are the sum total of.
I also think it'd be good either tomorrow or this weekend to go through the state not address what is not addressed, because what's out there is not good. It all is going to come down to the closing of the prosecution, right? If they can lay this out in a timeline, I don't see how she gets away with it.
Yeah, I think the closing is going to be more important than even it usually often is, maybe,
Right.
because there are so many, because it felt like an abrupt kind of.
Yeah, you have to lay it all out. It's not as like
Cliff
when you see in
also-
totality, there's only one answer.
Yeah.
text traffic on the
No,
3rd.
we have more than 3. There's, just a minute. There's a couple pages too.
I wanted to see
It's
Ronnie.
the last set of texts that they, there's multiple, see, that's the 2nd page. And that's the last text that they had between the 2 of them before.
Can you go to that one? Katie, can you blow up the 3rd one on that sheet? So, as I understand, among other objections that the state may have, the first one is foundation, correct, Mr. Bloodworth?
Yeah, so that's the threshold objection.
Right. And as I understood it yesterday, the foundation objection was this is not what it purports to be because the daytime information is inaccurate.
Well,
Correct?
Your Honor, the state question as to whether this is what it purports to be, the genesis of that is that I noticed that the time is not corrected. And I would expect for the Celebrite downloads that we have authenticated and laid foundation for, the time change is baked in.
Consistent across the board.
Consistent across the board.
Right.
So the fact that there is still in UTC -5 instead of UTC -6 or 7 just caused me to question where this came from, which Celebrite download it came from. And
So, I don't know. Somebody help me out here. I think these are steps that the state did introduce. Maybe the defense wants to talk about them, but they're not converted because whatever. I don't know.
I still don't know.
The texts.
Yeah, the text they're talking about.
Yeah, that's what I was going to say about Cliff, is that he said that they didn't, apparently the defense didn't realize they have to be authenticated.
Okay, gotcha.
No.
So that brings us to, is there a version of this that has the Cellbrite header?
That's what's on the screen right now.
And so if you would scroll through this extraction report and show me where it includes the portions that you want to use with this witness, just so we're all on the same page.
Just give us a second.
problem.
It's very long, so we have to go right to it. Just give us just 1 minute. Oh,
You weren't prepared to show this?
I don't understand.
And again, why are they so unprepared?
I don't know.
The judge is always like, oh, can you show it where we're talking? Oh, well, hold on a sec. We'll have to find it.
you want a Mac? A millennial has a Mac, so it may take a second.
Well, this discussion doesn't need to be had.
What?
When she's like, a millennial has a Mac, so it's going to take a second.
With me on the record in front of everybody, if you can have it with each other first and then distill down what the dispute is regarding the foundation.
Yes.
I understand there may be other objections that we have to get into.
And perhaps, Your Honor, we could work parallel.
Well, that'd be stupid since Kouri literally in the text says he wasn't. I'm not saying you're stupid, Lisa. I'm just saying, but who knows at this point?
While they're seeking out the foundation information. We could address a couple things. I think it's hearsay. As best I can tell, these are conversations between the defendant and Eric.
What's also nice is this isn't our last trial with Kouri. Still get the financial crimes one.
I'm
So
hoping to
even
get
if worst case scenario here, she gets somehow acquitted, that one ain't going to be good. And the civil trial.
it'll never
The
be
further
over.
objection is that beyond the scope of the direct.
Let's handle those. Ms. Nestor, regarding hearsay, Your client's statements are hearsay if they're offered by you. Eric Richins' statements are categorically hearsay if they're offered for the truth. What is the non-hearsay purpose of these particular text messages?
So we are actually not interested at all in what is being said, and we
Oh, this is the picture. They're talking about the gravel picture.
could do an instruction to that.
They're doing a gravel picture to intimate that the gifts are tied to something with the mansion and that maybe Eric sent them.
Excuse me, to that
Insinuation.
effect. What we were trying to get in with this exhibit is a photograph that was sent on the day before. Technically, Eric
this is
died
the
on
gravel.
the 3rd. And that was sent the day before. That is connected to the GIFs, GIFs, whatever you say, that all got accessed the
Whatever you say. Learn it from everyone else and then say
next
it.
morning at 8:30, which the
Say what
state is
everyone else
making
said.
a big deal out of, and mentioned in their opening and has called witnesses about it.
Provide a little more context. What is the photograph of and who is it sent by?
The photograph is sent by Eric to Kouri on the 3rd from when and there's been testimony that's come in that he was out there spreading gravel to make it look nice for the closing or whatever. And he sends her a picture of it while he's there before he gets home. That is one of the pictures that is connected to the GIFs that were accessed, the orphan GIFs, the next morning at 8:40 as soon as the police leave. And they're trying to make it seem like Kouri was celebrating he died with these happy GIFs. And it's
But that is what it seems like.
How's she going to prove what time they were sent, though?
Exactly. They can't do it with this witness.
Don't they need the metadata?
Yes. That's why it can't come in through this witness. Like, this is it right here. This is the argument.
This
You
happened
can't.
a lot in the Sarah Boone case, but we didn't go through all this. I think they, because for photographs that were bullshit that they didn't have any metadata for.
connected to the GIFs that were accessed, the orphan GIFs, the next morning at 8:40 as soon as the police leave. And they're trying to make it seem like Kouri was celebrating he died with these happy GIFs. And
The other thing is, I don't think it means that they were sent to her. If she's looking online for them and then clicking on them, I think that puts them into the temporary memory, right? So even if she didn't send them, or she downloaded them and then deleted them later, she was what she was looking through.
it's connected because that picture was the implication that's being made is that those GIFs were being sent or accessed or sent by or to Kouri the morning Eric died, when actually the picture that was also accessed at the exact same time came from the day before.
What?
I don't know I don't know why they would try to argue they were sent to Kouri. Who would send them to Kouri?
I guess they're
Right.
saying, what's his name? That Eric. What's his name? Eric.
Why would Eric send them?
Because he was getting ready to. They were getting ready to sell that house that he was laying the gravel on. Would be my guess of what they're getting at.
He's very clearly concerned about the price of it, and
So it
you typically don't celebrate being rich when you buy a house.
doesn't mean that. And that's
You've taken on a mountain of debt.
Oh, right. They were
Trying to-
buying, not selling. Right.
Yeah.
explained to the jury. All I care about is the non-testimonial side of the interaction that shows he sent a picture on the 3rd, and that's one of these pictures that was accessed with these GIFs at the exact same time, and it was sent the day before.
Wasn't
and
the
that's
exact
all we're
same
trying to
time.
do. We don't care about what's in the bubbles. We can black out what's in the bubbles. I don't care.
Why are you doing this through Detective O'Driscole? Why didn't you do it through Mr. Kouri? I'm not sure Mr. O'Driscole or Detective O'Driscole has the ability to testify to any of what you just said.
Well, he testified that he reviewed Eric's communications the day before he died. He did testify to that.
Right, but this goes well beyond that and is far more technical.
All I'm asking him to do is say, did you see he sent her a picture the day before? The rest of it we'll do separately.
That's not
I mean, Kouri is the walking embodiment that if you buy houses, it doesn't make you instantly rich. That's all she was doing, and she was massively in debt.
Yeah. There's nothing you can buy constantly and get rich.
not necessary foundation for the argument that you're trying to make. This is a technical metadata-based argument that I understand why defendant believes it's relevant. And I'm not suggesting it's not. I'm just not sure it's this witness.
I'm not going to ask him about any of the metadata. I'm going to say, did you look at Eric's phone the day before? Did he send this picture to Kouri? That's all I'm asking. Nothing fancy, nothing technical. He said he reviewed Eric's phone, that he looked at his communications, and we can even take out the metadata and just show the picture. That's all I
Without the
care about.
metadata, the picture's not relevant.
Well, the
You need the date and time.
We have that. No.
No, you moron. Do you hear what the judge is saying to you, idiot? The picture for your purpose that you're stating being accessed at the same time as the other ones is only relevant if you have that information of when it was accessed, which is the metadata, which this guy can't testify to. You need to have the digital expert testify to it. And you're like, well, we can remove the data. Well, then you don't have the date and time giving this meaning for what you want it to be.
And why does she not want the other guy?
Because he's not on the stand. Like, they don't want to call any witnesses. They're planning on resting their case. They don't want to call anyone, right? And they can't get the digital expert back up there.
But didn't they just have him up there again, or no?
Yeah, but, you know.
Yeah.
This
I
is
mean,
why
these people, they already had 2 people come back because these assholes didn't, you know, I just don't understand, like, why she's such a bad lawyer.
Cliff Meyer. Is it Cliff A. Mayer? And I'm just, whatever. Yeah, they would have to call him. But what I'm saying, Cliff, is I think you know, they did have a plan for a defense to put it on, right? But I think what they did was at some point this week, they sat down and like, hey, well, how viable is it that we don't call anyone? And then, hey, let's go through what the bad stuff is. And then they're saying like, okay, well, we can handle this through this. It's almost like they forgot that all this other bad stuff was going to come up. And now they're trying to handle it all through this one witness because yesterday went pretty good for them. It wasn't that bad. But we still have some of these things we need to check off. And one of them is the gifts. And so they desperately want to somehow nullify that there. But they can't anymore with this witness. So it's very bad. It's short-sighted planning, right? If you set up from the beginning, we would love to present no case. Let's make sure everything that comes up, we've got to do it when we have the right witness up there. So this is it's almost like they're doing it on the fly. That's what I'm saying.
That's what I think they're doing, which I don't understand.
We do need the date and time, but I'm talking about I thought there was more information on the bottom of those things. And
why are we doing this for Detective O'Driscoll rather than through another witness that can testify regarding the relationship between the file path for the JIFS and the file path for this photograph?
Because he reviewed it and saw it. I mean, I think he can testify to it.
He can't testify to any of the technical relationship that you're asking for.
Correct. And we're not asking
hit
for
that
that.
like button,
That's all
everyone.
we're asking is to say that the picture was sent the day, the 3rd. That's all I need him to say. And he knows that because he reviewed it. So he's capable.
He knows what he saw. How does he know that the picture was sent the day before?
Because it's on the face of it.
But then it's coming in for the truth, right? And so
But that's not testimonial evidence.
I agree. So
Oh my God.
it's not testimonial and it's on the face of the text message. What difference does it make that Jeff O'Driscoll reviewed? I'm not suggesting you can't get the evidence in. I just don't understand why it's coming in through this.
This is the witness we would like to bring it in through.
I don't know that this witness has foundation to give you the testimony you're asking for. What's the question you're going to ask?
I already asked him. I said, did you review Eric Richins' communications the day that he died? And he said yes.
Okay. And then what's the next question you're going to ask?
Is this picture, was it involved in what he sent the day he died? That's all I'm asking.
You just want a yes or a no?
Yeah, I'm not asking him for
I'm
any
not sure that's even dispute. Go ahead, Mr. Blunt.
Let's never come
That's
out
very
before any other
ambiguous.
witness.
Okay.
They like it because it's ambiguous.
I didn't have anything, Your Honor.
Okay. Is there any?
Did
We'd
you
like
see
to ask
Kouri there?
them. What?
Did you see Kouri? Look at her like, what?
Oh, I didn't see your face there. But they want to go up there and say, hey, did this picture get sent? And we don't want to show the jury the pic. We just want to throw out into the ether that another picture was sent. Jerry, what do you think about this picture that you're not going to see?
Dude, go ahead,
I mean,
Mr.
if that were true, this wouldn't be a last minute idea.
No, it's a bad last minute idea.
I know, but my point is that if they could validate that he himself sent them, it would be their only idea. It would be the only, it wouldn't be thrown in at the end. That's my opinion.
But the fact is he didn't send the gifts. They just want to plant the seed that
I know.
maybe. Right. What do you mean?
I know he didn't. That's why they can't prove it. That's why this is a last ditch effort.
Yeah.
If they had proof of anything, they would, it's all they'd be talking about, in my opinion.
And I think this team 100% looks at stuff online based on their stupid interview they did, right? I think they're finding out like how bad certain stuff is, and the gifts just are way worse than they, I think, thought they would be, maybe.
Let me tell you something. I just looked up what GIF stands for just to make sure that I was right, and it's graphics interchange format. That's a hard G. So that guy who invented them, who had to come out and ruin everyone's life saying it's pronounced GIF, is full of shit. It's GIF, graphic. I don't want to talk about it anymore.
Well, but because then they point to the name Jeffrey, spelled Geoffrey.
Why is that his name?
It's a psychopathic way. No, I'm saying that's a J sound for a G.
Yeah, but this is it stands for the word graphic.
Or George.
Not Jeffrey.
But you say George with a J sound, so it's Jiff.
Yeah, I know, but
I know. I agree with you.
God.
I'm telling you what the morons say.
Oh my God. I know what the morons say. That's what I'm telling you.
Come out before on any other witness.
Okay. But go ahead, Mr.
I didn't have anything, Your Honor.
Okay. Is there any objection to him just saying yes or no to that question?
If the yes or no to the question of did he review Eric Richins' text messages from?
I think that's already been answered. Yes
Okay.
or no.
Yes.
What's worse about the name? What's the worst part about the name Joffrey or Jeffrey is that people that spell it Geoffrey, sometimes they like to be called Joffrey, right?
Well,
like
yeah, those are people we know it has to be done.
right. So then you say it and you know, oh, it's spelled like this, and then they're like, no, it's pronounced Jeffrey. This isn't a George Jorge type deal. This is somebody screwing around, pissing on my leg about a common name and just coming up with something new.
Yeah, absolutely. And people do it all the time. People who
I would have no problem if there were no Joffrey people out there saying, no, it's Joffrey.
Yeah. If somebody corrects their name like that, I say to them, now I know everything I need to know about you. Thank you.
Then what's the follow-up?
I don't need to know anything else.
Did Eric Richins send a picture as part of those text messages?
And so
And if Detective O'Driscoll says, based on my review, he did, period.
I still don't know if that is sufficient foundation to admit this.
Well, I'm not sure it's going to be admitted. I just think they're trying to lay foundation, I guess. Did you want to publish the photograph, Ms. Nestor?
I do want to publish the photograph.
Which
And
part,
tell me why the
Casey?
photograph is relevant?
Well, that photograph is already in
All
as
of
part
it.
of Exhibit 340, which
It's not in, but we've stipulated.
is coming in next. But I just want to show it's the same picture. That's it.
I gotta watch your face more here.
And forgive me, you're referring to an exhibit that hasn't yet come in
Come
It's
on,
stipulated to it.
aimless
It's about to come
Dan.
in.
through.
Piff.
O'Driscoll.
And what is 340?
It's the list of all the pictures that were accessed that morning at 8:35 a.m.
Why don't we just do it in the reverse order then?
I can do that.
I mean, we can see on. I still think there's a hearsay problem based on counsel's explanation. Now, I also think there's a relevancy objection. The photo that we've been discussing,
The grapple photo.
the gravel photo, was not accessed at 8:39. It was accessed at 10:42.
Well,
Okay, defense. Did you just hear that?
Yeah.
Because they were trying to be like, oh, they were accessed at the same time. And he's like, no, it was 2 hours later.
I actually happen to have the thing here. He's got the information.
I know, but sometimes you're saying you're pretending to be him. I thought you were talking to me as you. And I was like,
No.
Wait, I was like, so you give me all the time. Like, sorry, I wasn't listening. Or that's more ex Derek. But
No, it's me a lot of the time.
I'm like,
I lie about it more than
There's
he
like
does.
the gall to pretend that you might not have heard something.
Yeah. No, I mean him. He has the defense, as you know.
The photo that we've been discussing,
the grapple photo.
the gravel photo, was not accessed at 8:39. It was accessed at 10:42.
Well, this is a foundation question, but the premise of the question Ms. Nestor is seeking to ask is, was this photo among the communications or sent by Eric Richins to Kouri Richins on March 3rd?
Yeah, they are. They would feel stupid
Right.
if you get off.
Yes.
Full stop. I don't think that's fairly disputed, right? And I don't think that's a hearsay issue.
I think publications, the hearsay, the fact that any photo was sent is fine. I think if we get into the specific photo that was sent, there's a hearsay problem.
Are you taking the position that the photo is a statement?
Yeah.
Not sure that follows without additional context. Just sending the photo is.
Heck, Jess says Robinson is either way. No way he's getting a fair trial. I think you could maybe argue that his sentence might be slanted one way or the other, depending on the judge or whatever. But he did it, so he shouldn't be a trial. We saw him shot on TV. We saw him going down, and he had the rifle and everything, and talking about it.
It's evidence. It's a fact. I'm not sure it's a statement.
The statement is, I just dropped gravel at the midway.
Well, I don't think any of that's coming in.
Yeah, I get what you're saying, Cliff Meyer. I do understand what Bloodworth is saying because it is a picture that demonstrates something being done. It is a communication of an act. Just like if my wife told me to mow the lawn and I took a picture of the lawn after I'd mowed it, I would be sending it to convey I mowed the lawn.
Just the photograph.
But that's what the photograph said.
I don't understand. Is there text on the photograph?
No, Your Honor, but the defense has, the defense is, as part of their case, said that Eric Richins was into the Midway Man, as evidenced by him dropping photos.
I want to come back to what I understand is being proposed by Ms. Nestor through
Really
this way.
gravel,
Detective
though?
O'Driscoll, did
It
you
might be
review
travel.
Eric
Or
Richins' text
gravel.
messages with
Gravel.
Kouri Richins the day before he died?
Gravel.
Yes or no? I understand the answer to be yeah. Did he send Kouri Richins a photograph as part of those text messages on March 3rd? Yes or no? Yes. Is this the photograph that he sent? Full stop.
Oh, I'm fine with that. The only, I
he
think there's a
was
third option. It's not
Carolina.
yes or no. It's I don't
it doesn't
recall.
mean
Oh, no,
shit.
fair
I
enough.
missed
I'm
the
not,
beat there.
I'm not telling you how to testify. I just know what he'll say. But as long as you don't go beyond that, Ms. Nestor, and as long as you don't make any representations regarding time, date is fine.
Great.
Then we don't have a foundation problem. We don't have a statement that would be subject to the hearsay rule. I think the low bar regarding relevance is met in as much as the defense seems to be laying foundation or argument to come later regarding when images and file paths on Ms. Richins' phone were accessed. Any other nuances here, Ms. Nestor?
I don't think so.
Do you understand? Do we have a common understanding of the limits of what you can ask Detective
Absolutely.
O'Driscoll without drawing another objection?
Absolutely.
Have her tell you what she understands. I no longer trust her when she says,
Yeah.
I absolutely understand, because how many times have we seen her go beyond?
Absolutely.
Do you have an image of just the photograph?
I do, but I think if it's out of context, he won't. It's too hard for him to. I mean, I think it needs
You
to.
can't show the text messages without provoking the hearsay problem.
No, not to the jury, just to refresh.
Oh,
Because
that's
I think it's got to be. He's not going to know. It's just going to be a weird picture.
understood.
Should we just go
Are
ahead
you going
and
to publish the photo to the jury, though?
no?
Oh, okay.
So we could just go ahead and admit 340 now, because then the next question is going to be: is this the same photo that is in this picture right here? And then we're done. Is this the same photo?
This is not a question for me. It's a question for Mr. Bloodworth.
No objection to admitting 340.
Okay.
I don't know that. No, there's the follow-on. Is this the same photo? That is akin to publishing the photo that brings up the hearsay problem.
You've made a record regarding the state's position that the photograph by itself is a statement subject to the hearsay rule. I'm not persuaded.
Okay.
And so, however, I don't know that just admitting 340 without providing the jury any testimony to provide foundation for context is going to be helpful.
I'll do
So
it.
is somebody going to tell them what 340 is?
I'll do it through him. I'll just do it through him.
Okay.
That's fine. We do have one other issue. If we're resolved with this, I think we're all clear. I know what I can ask, what I can't. I think we're fine.
Okay.
There's another issue. May I bring it up?
Please.
Cliff Meyer, what if there was a lawnmower in it next to it with freshly dropped clippings in the same photo? Would that not convey it?
All right. I really need Officer O'Driscoll to leave the courtroom when we talk about this, because it's about specific questions.
No problem. Detective, if you take a step into the lobby, please don't talk to anybody while you're out there, sir. Thank you.
Okay.
She wants the photo in to make it seem like Eric sent the gifts. That's
Yeah, but I'm not sure. I don't understand how it's possible to say. Don't they know whose phone it came from?
No, because there's no. They were recovered from the temporary files, so there's no message of where it came from. So maybe Eric sent them and he deleted them on his phone, just like she did.
That's crazy to me that they can't tell what, like.
No,
Which
the
cell
text
phone.
is gone. Just the temporary file is there.
Okay, got it.
You know what I mean?
Yes.
Like the shadow, right? Like in cash, right? You could basically.
They don't know who it was sent to either. Like, but they just know when it was saved.
They know when it was accessed.
Or when it was accessed. Yeah. Okay.
So just like when I send you, the dick pics, right? In the text to you and ex Eric.
Yeah, I delete
Your phone is making a little preview of that, right?
Yeah.
And when you click on it, it activates. Then you could delete it out of there, but that little preview is still saved out there.
Right.
Thank you, Your Honor. I'm doing this out of an abundance of caution to avoid any potential. I'm trying to be very careful to comply with the court's ruling on the motion in limine not the motion in limine, the motion to admit the statements of David Norris.
Not.
Correct. Our motion to admit that was denied.
Yes.
So just to make the record, the defense sought in advance to get.
All right, so here we go on to the David Norris. And this is probably the most frustrating point of all these objections today. When I heard in this, I was like, what are you trying to do?
Approval to, or actually, we gave notice to the state that we intended to call a witness named Mr. Norris, who would testify.
And this smacks of, this was their plan. This was a long developed plan, just like they tried with the illicit drugs. And they were like, no, we need, I should be able to impeach him because I asked this question, and I listened to hearsay, and then he confirmed that it wasn't that because Bloodworth fell for my trap, but he didn't. Right.
Yeah.
This David Norris guy, this is so sketchy.
Come out of, I feel like he just showed up today.
No. Well, it did get brought up today, but in pretrial, he was already eliminated because as the prosecution says, this guy claims that Eric came up to him in 2019 asking for fentanyl.
Oh, right.
He called into the dispatch first, then he talked to a patrolman, then he talked to a detective, and every time in between, he would go back and talk to the defense, and the story would evolve, right, as they needed him. And who do we know? Like, do we know anyone in this trial? I guess maybe, because I can't think of anyone. Do we know anyone in this trial that tries to get people to say things happened that?
No.
No, we don't. We don't know that.
I mean, Kouri would never do that, obviously.
Kouri would never do.
No.
The last person that would be Kouri.
Yeah. I'm surprised they didn't find a letter to this guy telling him specifically.
If I've called that on an occasion in 20.
They will absolutely retry this if there's a hung jury. Absolutely.
In 2019, he had an encounter with Eric Richins where Eric Richins asked him if he had any fentanyl. He had corroboration for the interaction, not the statement, but the interaction with Mr. Richins, specifically the check that Mr. Richins had given him, the date it had cleared his checking account, and the invoice for the work he had done for him.
And it was apparently some worker that also worked for Kouri. So she knows Kouri. He knows Kouri professionally or whatever. So she has this wasn't just some random guy off the street. She knew him.
Mm-hmm.
In comparison to the Jeff's testimony, which was corroborated by two people. His girlfriend heard the phone call because it was on speakerphone.
Yeah. Why did they don't want to bring Norris in, right?
The defense wants to.
They do.
The defense wants to allude to the fact that there's somebody out there. So this is the whole thing. They couldn't bring it in because it was hearsay. Now they want to go to this detective. Hey, did you ever receive a tip from somebody? Or, did you investigate every lead about fentanyl from Eric? Right? Oh, you did? Well,
how about
are you aware of anyone that reported selling fentanyl to Eric? And did you investigate that? Like, this is very shady. It's very stupid.
Yeah.
But yeah. No, this isn't Lotto. Lotto is Michael Thomas Kelly.
Or Kouri, but
Correct. The court the reason we were trying to introduce that statement, we were trying to get it through the catch-all exception to hearsay.
the residual.
I'm sorry, I call it catch-all. Same thing. The residual exception to the hearsay rule.
That's a question for Cliff. Cliff, do you know the answer? I believe she gets released until they file charges again, right?
Yeah,
Aimless
I mean,
man?
I assume she's not going to be doing time for the other things she's going to be tried for. I don't know. I mean, not doing time, but I don't think those are the kind of offenses that you stay incarcerated for prior to.
Or do they have to answer at the same? Do you have to? I should know this because I've watched enough shows. If they declare a mistrial, don't they ask? Or mistrial because of a hung jury, don't they ask right at that moment? Does the state intend to proceed further? And can't they just say yes? We're going to retry this, and then she stays in custody. Or no?
Which requires a head notice, which we did
I
get.
think it's an automatic
The state
thing, but like,
objected
how does
to
that work,
coming
guys?
in. We had the court ruled upon it, did the analysis under the residual exception, and made a finding that this defense could not call Mr. Norris to the stand to testify because the residual.
Okay. Yes, unless there's other pending charges, but they will immediately declare a new trial so they can arrest her right there, right, Cliff? But they okay, so they end up changing it. But what I'm saying is they have to do the formality of saying, yes, we're going to do a new trial. and then somebody has to arrest her right there, like one of the detectives is saying, Kouri, you're under arrest for the murder of Eric. Right.
Hearsay exception requirements were not met. It is my desire
Thank you,
with
Cliff.
this witness to ask him the following four.
First is if they were to say the state does not intend to seek charges at this time and then they'd be released while they decided.
Questions about his investigation, and it touches on Mr. Norris's testimony, but it's a separate matter. But I just, out of abundance of caution, I am giving you a heads up. So the first question is this. You discussed with Mr. Bloodworth yesterday that the way you approached this investigation was to look for evidence based on 3 possible scenarios: an accidental overdose, a suicide, or a murder, correct? Question number 2.
You know, her and Zelda stayed up like all night till 2 a.m. crafting the exact words of they'd be like, okay, they're sitting on the hotel bed, kicking their feet in the air.
The
What about this?
cookies.
Okay, no. And she's like over there, like, no, that seems good. That seems good.
I wonder.
Cliff A. Meyer. I'm just gonna say Cliff
We'll say
Meyer.
Cliff.
I guess. Cliff says apparent appeal does have a chance because Utah Supreme Court hasn't decided one of the issues in the case, so query whether the issue makes a difference. It was the one that Zelda was arguing yesterday, right? They refused to hear it. What were they even talking about? That seems like it's like a million years ago.
I have to check my pictures.
Okay, you check your pictures.
I have a friend named Shmita.
It was over. I think it was over the Carmen transcripts thing.
And in order to properly investigate whether there was an accidental overdose, certainly any allegations that Eric had a prior history of seeking fentanyl would be potentially relevant and important to look into, correct?
Pause there for 1 second. I got it right.
I'm sorry, I do have these if you want me to email them to you.
No, it's okay. Just give me a moment.
No worries.
Was it prior allegations that Eric?
Any allegations
Yeah, he's going to write it down because I don't know what you're going to do. You know, you're going to go out of pocket and say a different question. So I have to write it down to know what I'm agreeing to first.
that Eric had a prior history of seeking fentanyl would be potentially relevant and important to look into, correct?
Got it.
And this is the next question. Within the past few months, did your team of investigators become aware that there was an individual contacting the Summit County Sheriff's Department who wanted to share with the investigative team information about an incident where Eric allegedly asked someone for fentanyl?
You know how I know this is stupid? Because if I went to law school, this is the hypothetical I would have come up with in the class and saying, well, couldn't you just ask this? And then the law professor would immediately say, no, this is why. Because it's the same thing, right?
I don't know where I said it, or maybe I said it to myself, but this reminds me of like a pretend trial.
Right.
In law school. Like, I can't believe these people have been practicing attorneys for years. It just, even I know some of the things they're doing are ridiculous.
Like, even when I asked Cliff before, I said, hey, well, they did direct on 2 witnesses. How does that work with them not presenting any more witnesses and they just rest and then the state doesn't get a rebuttal because the state didn't put on any more witnesses? How does that work? That is something now that Cliff answered it. It is not something I would then move if I was a lawyer in court being like, okay, well, I move that I get to do a rebuttal because they did direct on there, and everyone's going to laugh at you and be like, no, that's not how this works.
Yeah. They're going to have their closing arguments, which, they don't, yeah.
Read that again.
Sure.
And within the past few months, did your team of investigators become aware that there was an individual contacting the Summit County Sheriff's Department who wanted to share with the investigative team?
I'm going to stop stepping on these. Got to hear all the stupidity of these questions altogether. I'll stop.
Properly investigate whether there was an accidental overdose. Certainly any allegations that Eric had a prior history of seeking fentanyl would be potentially relevant and important to look into, correct?
Pause there for 1 second. I got it right.
I'm sorry. I do have these if you want me to email them to you.
No, it's okay. Just give me a moment.
Get them on the
Was it
record.
prior allegations that Eric
Any allegations that Eric had a prior history of seeking fentanyl would be potentially relevant and important to look into, correct?
got it?
And this is the next question. Within the past few months, did your team of investigators become aware that there was an individual contacting the Summit County Sheriff's Department who wanted to share with the investigative team information about about an incident where Eric allegedly asked someone for fentanyl? I need to read that again.
Sure.
And within the past few months, did your team of investigators become aware that there was an individual contacting the Summit County Sheriff's Department who wanted to share with the investigative team information about an incident where Eric allegedly asked someone for fentanyl? And then there's one more question. Let me know when you're ready, Your Honor.
Sheriff investigative team. Give me the last clause one more time.
Who wanted to share with the investigative team information about an incident where Eric allegedly asked someone for fentanyl.
Okay.
And the final question is, did you or anyone else connected to the investigative team ever sit down with this individual and talk to them? Did you make any efforts to see if this individual was credible or had corroborating evidence to back up their claims? And that's it.
Mr. Glover.
No objection to the first question. Objections to the next three. This is a transparent attempt to circumvent the court's 807 ruling regarding Mr. Norris by casting some sort of inference that what Mr. Norris would have testified to is admissible. This setup has been long in the making. After the court issued its 807 ruling, Mr. Norris called the Summit County Sheriff's Office. Deputies interviewed him, and he said he was calling on behalf of, or he was calling because defense counsel told him he should call.
Maybe just
Look at the look Gungan's giving him. She's just like this, you know. How do you know all that? You're muted. Am I muted? No, it's just you.
What's the other one doing, or is this a still picture? I can't even tell.
I paused it.
It's still okay.
I forgot. Miagarita. Do you know who sang the theme song? Anyone in the chat who sang the theme song?
I don't even know the.
It's from Arrested Development. Mock trial with Jay Reinhold. Mock trial with Jay Reinhold. He was on American Idol. I'll give you that hint. Who did they have do it? Ravina Denver says they should have put on something. Didn't Daryl Brooks do the same thing? No, he called witnesses. Remember, he called witness after witness that he tried to somehow impeach, even though he called them as his own witnesses.
On a rigorous defense.
And he called up Erica again. So he put on a defense. That's why they could do, it's William Hung. Jackie Anderson got it. Yay. Yay, Jackie Anderson. Yeah, they could just ask these questions like this. Cliff says here, isn't it true that Eric was a gay fentanyl addict? Or isn't it true that some people out there have reported that Eric was a gay fentanyl addict? And did you investigate that? No? Okay.
We don't know that he was not.
We're hyper-focused on Kouri. Thank you.
Let's pause here I don't know that we need to go into any of that. I understand part of your objection to be a lack of foundation.
It's the beginning.
I think that's the beginning and the end of the discussion. There's no foundation for the premise of your questions 2, 3, and 4.
I'm sorry, but I don't understand. We have been produced a report from the Summit County Sheriff's Department confirming this call was made and confirming that there was no interview of this individual. It goes not to the credibility of the individual, it goes to the credibility of the investigation that they chose never to even speak to him.
There is no foundation for the premise of your question.
Yeah, we chose not to investigate the UFOs. People were calling in as well saying, I saw a UFO over Eric's house and it definitely was dropping off fentanyl. And then like the alien waved at me. It was so amazing. Call me back, my number. Or you know what, just hit me up with my Insta.
It's as if you could make up any set of facts and put them in the question. If there's no foundation, it can't be the premise of the question.
I'm sorry, but I don't understand what you mean by there's no there is validation from the state that this call happened.
It's not that, did you?
Well,
that's because you're an idiot.
You don't
how
have
does she not get this? Go ahead.
Did you hear legally blobs?
Yeah, I heard legally blobs earlier. Cliff.
And what I asked you is, do you like her? Doesn't she look good with her lipstick?
She looks like a Cliff Meyer, Cliff, and if Robin is here, how dumb is this, or how here's the word, or here's what I'm asking you. How like, to me as an outsider, I'm like, oh yeah, this wouldn't work, but like, how embarrassing on like a legal level as an attorney would it be hearing somebody else trying to argue this? That's what I guess what I'm saying. Like, how out of pocket is this?
Is this as embarrassing as we think it is?
Yeah, is this as embarrassing as we think it is, or do attorneys regularly try to do this thinking the judge is stupid, or that opposing counsel isn't good?
Or
this seems very amateurish.
Yeah,
this seems like a Darrell Brooks move. Other than saying, well, no, it's to talk about the integrity of the investigation because he can't get the words right, but
interview a person named David Norris. It's the substance that is the premise of the. There is no foundation for.
Okay, so Cliff confirms this is very bad. This is basic rules of evidence stuff. Yes. Thank you.
Premise that Eric had a prior history of seeking fentanyl.
But that's not the way the question is worded. The question is worded is someone contacting you, asking to give you information about it, and you refuse to interview them.
Refuse?
Not the question you asked. Read the whole question.
In order to properly investigate.
No. Go to number 2.
That is number 2.
My apologies.
And in order to properly investigate whether there was an accidental overdose, certainly any allegations, not facts, not nothing, just an allegation that Eric had a prior history of seeking fentanyl would be potentially relevant and important to look into, correct?
Let me ask you, what would your response be if Mr. Bloodworth got up and said, certainly, detective, you investigated whether Hayden Jeffs had done all the stuff that I've excluded in my ruling regarding Hayden Jeffs? Would you be like, no problem, you can say
fair question?
It would be reversible error for me to allow that. There were 2 residual exception rulings in this case. Let's be fair about it.
Right. That's absolutely correct. So is there a way, if we scrub out the reference to fentanyl and we...
No. That's the problem isn't the word fentanyl in this case, ma'am.
Don't get into the specifics of exactly what was said, because I understand their concern about that and the court's concern, which is why we raised this in advance, which is why I'm trying to do the right thing here.
You're trying to do the right thing by doing the dumbest thing?
Oh, no.
Since when?
If we just said that an individual contacted them with information about an interaction with Eric involving drugs, illicit street drugs, and they chose not to investigate it at all, it does go to they've set forth this hypothesis that, well, we eliminated all other possibilities. And that's just not true. They didn't eliminate all other possibilities because they chose not to interview at least one person that clearly would have supported the first hypothesis, that he ingested it intentionally.
This is almost as bad as their arguments when they're, I mean, not this specifically, but when they keep saying like, oh, did you interview Kouri? No, she wouldn't sit down and talk with us. Oh, did you interview Ronnie? No, we tried. He would not sit down and talk with us. What about any of her family? Wouldn't talk to us.
If they asked the guy, why aren't they asking the investigator why he didn't interview this guy? Sure, he had a reason, no?
I think that's the judge's ultimate point here. Yeah. You can say, why didn't you interview this guy? But without the context of what he would be talking about, it'd be meaningless, right? Okay. They can't bring up that what he alleges because it's hearsay.
Okay. Right.
Because he's saying that Eric asked me this. That's hearsay introduced by Cliff. Tell me if I have this right. It's hearsay because David Norris is saying that Eric came to me and asked for fentanyl, or he said this to me or something, right? Like, that's hearsay. It's unsubstantiated, right?
I guess it's
hearsay. It's the worldwide news or whatever, National Enquirer people that are coming forward and be like, oh, I know I saw this.
I don't know. They always say they have to look into every lead, so.
Oh, yes. Cliff says, yes, that's hearsay. Boom. Yes. Boom, boom, boom.
So that's all I'm trying to get in. I am trying to get that in.
You may be trying to get a little bit more in.
Well, as much as I can possibly get in.
Fair enough.
But I do think it's fair game to say, look, you've got someone coming to your office saying he tried to buy drugs from me and I want to be interviewed. And they were like, no, thank you. I think I'm entitled to get that in. And I'm willing to do it in the most ethical, careful, reliable.
Ma'am, didn't we have a pretrial ruling on this? Isn't that the whole point of pretrial rulings? You idiot!
Non-inferential way possible, but I do believe that's fair game. And I'm open to suggestions, whatever I need to do.
Okay, yeah, Cliff says, the out-of-court statement by Eric, I want fentanyl, would be offered for the truth of the matter asserted, which is hearsay, versus if the... Okay, yeah, unless it was a proof, not for the proof of the... offered for the truth of the matter asserted, if it was a contradictory thing, that, without quoting him, it could come in possibly.
These 4 questions are not it. Mr. Blood, you look like you're about to say something.
No, Your Honor, as I understand this, status quo is the court. I guess this court has sustained the state's objection to those questions.
I have. I think what Ms. Nestor is...
Versus if somebody was like, hey, I never sold drugs, somebody could come in and say, yeah, no, no, I'm not going to get into it. I'm right. I'm just going to leave it at that.
Trying to ward off is another set of objectionable questions that are maybe more general, less specific, some version of probing the bounds of the state's investigation of the charges. Yep.
Your Honor, no, it's the same foundational objection, right? This is all to suggest that there is admissible evidence that Eric Richins sought fentanyl before. And at bottom, there is no admissible evidence that he sought fentanyl before. And I don't think that there is any good faith basis to suggest otherwise, or to suggest that any investigation into it was incomplete, because the fact is, Detective, that Mr. Norris's narrative has been so thoroughly dispatched that there's no good faith basis to allude to an improper investigation, much less that there may be admissible evidence.
And this is a weak
I don't
response.
understand what he's saying. I don't. What is he saying about it? Was that his?
He's been thoroughly debunked.
Okay, debunked. That's the word I missed.
Versus the 2 people you're not letting in from me. We have audio recordings of them saying this.
Yeah.
Right.
For example, if this guy had called and told them that there's a body lying at such and such place and they didn't look, and then eventually the body was found there, that would no longer be hearsay, from what I understand, right? If it was proven. Or
Wait, say that again. Say it again.
Like if this guy had called and said, something to them like a body, I saw a body such and such place, and they didn't want to interview him or talk to him, and eventually the body was found there, then it's no longer
I think so.
hearsay, right?
Right. I think that Cliff would agree with that.
What I understand.
Yeah, but I mean, like
But there's nothing to prove this guy. As he said, he's been debunked. So
plus all his interactions with the defense, which never looks good, right? He's not an impartial witness. Versus like Von Savage, right? He's recorded on a jail call saying, "Oh no, Carmen just said she got a bunch of money from selling." They had to say it in terms of the text of illicit drugs versus he said fentanyl on the phone. Yeah. And he would have there would be no reason for him to lie. There's no reason for him to craft that story at that point, right? It's not to, we need to get out of drug court because the police are totally looking into this and making deals. He's talking about an Xbox controller before they even knew he died of fentanyl, I think.
May I respond?
Yeah, hear me out for a second.
Sure.
Or let me make sure I understand that.
Hear you out for a second? All right. Thanks, Judge.
Balance of the argument here. You said there's no admissible evidence that Eric Richins sought fentanyl. My sense of the evidentiary record so far, and the evidentiary record, or the universe of admissible evidence that's available, is that there's no admissible evidence that Eric Richins ever sought or received narcotics except through a prescriber. Correct?
Correct. The only admissible evidence that's already admitted,
I think it's his knee surgery,
is
right?
a 2016 hydrocodone prescription following knee surgery.
Right. Okay. Very good. Now, by the same token, I believe all the admissible evidence of Ms. Richins seeking or receiving narcotics of any kind is already incorrect. And all is putting it strongly, but yeah. That is, to the extent there was any admissible evidence of Ms. Richins seeking fentanyl, it's either in or it's not admissible. Let me say it that way.
Or it would come in a rebuttal case.
Understood. Which was the basis, among other things, of, not the basis, but is related to the court's exclusion of the offered statements of Hayden Jeffs to his sister.
Right. So I do wish to correct Mr. Bloodworth's statement that we have fully dispatched Mr. Norris's.
This is wild here. She said, she's going to say, I wish to dispel the rumor that you fully dispatched his credibility because Your Honor said, you know, even this ruling, if I take everything in here as true, that's not saying that it is true. It's saying the truth of this being completely aside, which is in doubt, you know, it could be 100% false. But even if it wasn't false, it's still not coming in. That doesn't mean it's true.
Proposed testimony. To the contrary, the court was
Thank you,
very
Grampy.
clear that you were accepting, for purposes of your analysis, that everything in the affidavit that Mr. Norris provided was true. And
He accepted for the analysis, not for the truth of the matter. Oh, God. I'm going to back it up.
you did the analysis.
Surgery.
Right. Okay. Very good. Now, by the same token, I believe all the admissible evidence of Ms. Richins seeking or receiving narcotics of any kind is already incorrect. And all is putting it strongly, but yeah. That is, to the extent there was any admissible evidence of Ms. Richins seeking fentanyl, it's either in or it's not admissible. Let me say it that way.
Or it would come in a rebuttal case.
Understood. Which was the basis, among other things, of, not the basis, but is related to the court's exclusion of the offered statements of Hayden Jeffs to his sister.
Right. So I do wish to correct Mr. Bloodworth's statement that we have fully dispatched Mr. Norris's proposed testimony. To the contrary, the court was very clear that you were accepting, for purposes of your analysis, that everything in the affidavit that Mr. Norris provided was true, and that you did the analysis of the court did
That is a false equivalency, isn't it? Like,
the analysis based on the law of the hoops you have to jump through to come under the residual exception. And for purposes of your analysis, you did not go into an analysis of whether Mr. Norris's testimony was credible, not credible. You just said, I'm going to assume.
right, but the state did. The state interviewed him and said, this guy's full of shit. We don't need to waste time on this.
For purposes of this ruling, that everything in that affidavit is true. And then I'm going to rule on whether it fits the residual exception. And the court went through a very thorough analysis and decided it did not.
And despite believing it's all true, it was still excluded.
So I don't think that's a fair statement that he just made, that we fully dispatched it like there's nothing behind it. That's never been litigated in front of this court, nor have we asked it to be.
The difficulty here, though, is imagine David Norris were on the stand.
Right.
And you asked him, hey, did you ever contact the Summit County Attorney's Office or Sheriff's Office? My apologies.
Yeah.
He says yes. And then you say, what did you tell them? It immediately provokes a hearsay objection that I've already dealt with under my ruling under the residual exception.
Absolutely.
So
and we don't,
if you want to elicit testimony that, did you ever speak to a gentleman named David Norris? Yes. And then move on. Fine. But I'm not sure how that's relevant.
well, that's meaningless to a jury unless I can say, was there a gentleman named David Norris who tried to give information that would have supported the first hypothesis?
But that's the hearsay.
But it's not being offered for the truth. It's being
100%
offered,
being offered.
Your Honor, if I may please, it's being offered for the same reason they've gotten in a ton of other
Jesus.
hearsay in this case by the
Your Honor, can I cut you off? Even though it 100% is being offered for the truth, or else why are you saying it?
impact it has
Your
on
respect.
how they did their investigation. They got that in through Woody. That's how they got in Amy and Katie's statements, because it wasn't for the truth of the matter that Kouri tried to kill him before. It was how it impacted her investigation from there on out. This is the same exact argument. It's how the fact that they got that information and chose not to even investigate it, how that impacted the hearer.
Just said
It
they
is irrelevant
did.
for purposes of the truth, and the court can instruct it like you've done over and over and over for their witnesses when we had this exact same argument.
If that's true, Ms. Nestor,
Yes.
then the 807 residual exception wouldn't exist and it wouldn't apply. it does apply. And so you can't use this argument to undermine that.
I know, that's why I'm trying not to undermine your ruling.
That's why the substance of what he told the Summit County Sheriff's Office can't come in.
And I think I could maybe craft a question where we leave out the juicy substance and just say there was an avenue that you chose not to investigate. But I've got to get something in context so the jury understands, hey, you had this road, you chose not to go down it. That was your choice.
I appreciate why you want to present this to the jury, but there are limits on both sides of the V about what gets presented to the jury. And those limits are in part defined by the Utah Rules of Evidence. And this substance cannot come in under the Utah Rules of Evidence. For the same reason that the state could not argue that we want to get in Hayden Jeff's statements to his sister just for the effect upon law enforcement in terms of the scope of their investigation. No.
Okay. And there's no scenario which we're going to be allowed to question him about choosing not to investigate this evidence.
Is this, Cliff, again, is this basically just saying, Your Honor, tell me how I can get this in? Because that's what it sounds like. Okay, but Your Honor, wait. Okay, if this doesn't work, can you tell me how it can work?
There's no scenario in which it's relevant without the substance of the excluded communication. If a crank from New Jersey, I don't know why I'm picking on New Jersey, but I grew up near New Jersey, called the Summit County Sheriff's Office and said, I was in Utah on that day and I saw it happen, and the Summit County Sheriff's Office chose not to investigate it, would we be having this conversation?
That's not this circumstance, though.
It is the same, though, because that evidence has nothing to do. Here it's even worse because it's inadmissible.
It's inadmissible from Mr. Norris's mouth, but I don't think it's inadmissible, period, in terms of if it was part of an investigation that was ignored or not followed.
The substance is inadmissible. The fact that they spoke to David Norris as a fact is admissible if it's relevant, but without the substance, it's not relevant.
We have just a moment.
315000139. Counsel, thank you for your page. I've just handed you a copy of State versus McCullough, 2014 UTF 215.
Okay, so then it shifts. Right, this weird shift where the judge comes up with this case and it's like, okay, well, it could come in, but then all of it could come in, right? I didn't really understand this, Cliff.
I need you to take 15 minutes, read.
I mean, I understand it on a surface level. I don't understand what caused it to shift in terms of like it being like, okay, yeah, but maybe now we have everything come in.
Gungan is showing some cleavage today.
They're all doing like. Do you see?
It's like a sex show.
Do you see? What's her name? Kouri's wrist. She's like her sleeves. They were like what? Like clown sleeves or like straight jacket, and she's like, I'm just gonna wrap them up over there.
I don't know what's going on.
This case beginning at paragraph 25. This case stands for the proposition that what the defense is proposing to do is required, but it raises the prospect of also allowing the state to rebut the defense's charge of an incomplete or improper investigation by also putting in evidence, not for the truth, but for the effect it had upon law enforcement of how they received and reacted to Hayden Jeff's statements to his sister. I need you all to be very thoughtful about this. I can't unring the bell once this information is out. And sitting here at the moment without the benefit of counsel's argument after reading this case, I think I'd have to let both sides of that story in to make sure that the state is not prosecuting with one hand tied behind its back. Mr. Blood, if I cut you.
Sorry, Your Honor. We looked at this case while you had stepped out. I think in addition to Hayden,
I don't know if that's like a nod to like, man, Your Honor, we were already looking at the same case, or if because he sent it to him, he was looking at it while he stepped out. I don't know.
JIFS. It would also cause us to revisit the court's decision yesterday regarding Mr. Bonsavage's phone call with an inmate at Gunnis.
Remember the detail of that one? Forgive me. Oh, I think I do. Yeah, a little. Now, let's talk about foundational requirements. I gave this a little bit of thought after rereading McCullough. There is some precision and some technicality into how these questions would need to be asked. For example, Ms. Nestor, you wouldn't just be able to put the substance of Mr. Norris's statement in a question and ask whether Detective O'Driscole ever followed up on it, because you would not have laid foundation that he ever knew about it in the first place. You need to lay foundation about whether or not he ever spoke to David Norris, yes or no. If no, did anybody ever relate to you that David Norris contacted the Summit County Sheriff's Office, yes or no? Yes. Okay, after that, what did you do? This information, this statements being made by David Norris to Summit County Sheriff's Office have to come in through a witness with knowledge of them. And I'm not sure Detective O'Driscoll's that guy. By the same token, to the extent the state would want to
I can't believe you make fun of my
show
editing.
that the investigating officers or
I'm not making fun of your editing. I make fun of your transition. I said do a J
You
cut.
see what's
Don't.
going on here, though? I mean, this
What?
is like I don't even understand what he's saying. It's all stacked on top of each other.
25% speed, and we've got the silence is cut out. I mean,
Sure
it's not any better with it slower. Yeah, okay, fine. It's choppy. All right, whatever. All I told you was don't do the fade wipes.
I have to do the fade words because then otherwise it has like verbal blips in between, which I hate.
No, then you just got to edit that better.
I can't. Sometimes also
you
I have
can.
street
You
noise
can.
that makes it,
No, I'm saying is like if you're
Well,
saying
you
this
can't,
and then you
apparently.
transition to a new one, just do a jump cut, J cut.
I don't know how to do that, and you never told me so.
If you're doing it in iMovie, just double click on it, right, and it will say cross dissolve, and you change it to the line. You say no jump cut.
Yeah, I know. That's how I get the bleep. The blip, the thing. It doesn't work. I can't do it. But all I'm saying is that, but you always make a comment, and this is terrible.
I didn't say this was good. I said this is. I didn't even really listen to this. I was like, we got to get through it.
I know this is for efficiency. I got it.
the Summit County Attorney's Office investigators followed up on statements made by Hayden Jeffs to his sister, Aubrey Jeffs, or information received or is told by Mr. Bonsavage. They're going to have to call a witness that had personal knowledge of those statements and then lay foundation for what occurred next. We can't skip steps.
Your Honor, agreed. There's a little more to
Plus, I can follow what he's saying.
Yeah.
unpack here too, because I happen
might be
to
a
know
personal
that
problem.
Jeff O'Driscoll's not the witness for this. We would need time to prepare the witness for this. We also have the problem that
We meaning
The state.
The state. May I ask you just a procedural question before you keep going?
yes, sir.
Imagine that at some point, imagine it's not Jeff O'Driscoll, as you
Right.
suggest.
Right.
And imagine in the defense's case, they find or call the witness who received the phone call or talked to David Norris, or they call David Norris.
Sure.
And they ask, did you call Summit County Sheriff's Office? Yes. What did you tell them? Did they ever follow up with you?
Yeah.
I imagine the state's response to this and the state's offering evidence regarding how it responded to information regarding the Hayden Jeff statements and the Nick Bonsavage statements, that would come in the state's rebuttal case. Is that correct?
Not necessarily, Your Honor. I mean, we haven't rested.
Yeah, you could. Okay, look, you listen to it at 1.5 speed, and you can understand it way more. You know what? The difference between cutting out the silence with 150 and not, it's an extra 40 minutes of silence.
I think we would like to get out in front of this before a rebuttal case. And while the state has investigated David Norris's statements and to show how they're not credible,
Plus, you're not coming here to learn anything. We're telling you what the important parts are.
the state pulled up on investigating how Norris came about, and the state would want to continue that investigation.
I think I know what you're talking about, but in terms of
That's my
how it
celebration
came
song
to
I'm
be
hearing.
that
I
David
like
Norris
it.
contacted law enforcement when he did.
Correct.
I don't know that I have any authority or interest in ruling.
I don't think you.
Yeah.
I don't think so. My only point in mentioning that is it would just take a little bit of time, and it would be necessary. The other point, I think. Well, the other objection the state has is under 403. I think in proceeding in this manner, it's both prejudicial and confusing the jury.
If I let in Norris, Jeffs, Bonsavage, does that ameliorate any unfair prejudice or forth? And when I say let it in, I mean as premise for questions regarding the scope of law enforcement's investigation, not for the
I
jury.
appreciate that, Your Honor.
I tend to agree with you if I let in only one side.
It's interesting because both that assumes that the weight of unfair prejudice or the weight of confusion is equal on both sides.
Yeah, tell him Bloodsworth.
The state, I don't think it is. I think because of the complete incredibility of David Norris's testimony and how David Norris came to contact law enforcement, that prejudice and that confusion is much weightier than confusion related to recorded interviews with Hayden Jeffs while he has counsel, and a recorded jail phone call. There is no doubt.
Doesn't that weigh in the state's favor, though?
No, Your Honor, because I guess the question is whether it's unfair prejudice or confusion. Confusion, it doesn't, David Norris's the purported effect on law enforcement of David Norris is even way more confusing. The effect, just because the information provided to David Norris is highly in doubt and would be highly litigated, whereas the information Hayden Jeffs provided is recorded. There is zero doubt about what he
Planning is
provided.
fun too.
And the
I
information that Nick Bonsavage provided is recorded. There is zero doubt. We're not bogging down in.
I don't even remember. Did we go over the whole club sandwich thing? I feel like we did on one stream.
No, you and I did in private.
I just did on the side. Okay, that will be that could be a stream of its own.
Maybe.
No, I could go on for 40 minutes about the
no
bullshit of that sandwich.
Absolutely, you could.
Okay, actually, while you're all listening to this, I want you to tell me, everyone in the chat, tell me what is, you're going in blind to a restaurant, or you're got a menu for a restaurant.
That's where the 40 minutes go.
It's a sandwich. It's a sandwich restaurant. And you don't have time to look at the menu, right? Because you're in a work meeting or whatever. And you like club sandwiches. So you say, or you don't know what to order, so you order a club because maybe you like clubs. What do you expect to be on that sandwich? Say, like, before you do the ingredients, say like 100 or like yes dash and then an ingredient. Like it would, yes, and then a maybe dash, like it could be on there and it's still a club sandwich. And then say absolutely not dash what you would not expect to be on there. And I'm going to tally these for that discussion.
But you're not going to give them suggestions? They just have to make things up?
I'm saying, like, okay, so for instance, what kind of bread is it? I don't even want to.
Just the classic ingredients of a club, right?
Yeah, club. What do you expect the spectrum of possibilities to be like? Yes, this is a requirement of a club. Maybe it could be this, or you could put like either, like maybe put like either Swiss or cheddar. I don't know, right? And then the never dash. What would you? I want you to tell me what would you never expect on a sandwich, but like sandwich ingredients, not like I would never expect a chicken wing on it. Well, of course, come on now.
Come on now.
Mess of who said what.
When you say the information, you mean the substance of what David Norris told Summit County Sheriff's Office a number of weeks ago.
Correct.
Okay.
Because it's changed. It has changed over time. We have affidavit number 1 from defense, affidavit number 2 from defense, phone call from David Norris, interview of David Norris. What David Norris says is a moving target, and it is a moving target based on when he speaks with defense counsel.
Forgive me. What is your understanding of the evidentiary landscape as to how many times David Norris has contacted the Summit County Sheriff's Office? Is it once or more?
I think he's had 2 contacts. Once he spoke with a patrol deputy to take kind of the initial, well, I guess there's once a call into dispatch, which was non-substantive.
Okay.
Then there was an initial contact with a patrol deputy, and then there was a contact with a detective.
Okay.
And then we have the affidavits that he'd submitted, that defense has submitted in the 807 litigation.
But those were submitted here, right, as part of the 807 litigation. Did those ever go to Summit County Sheriff's Office?
I don't know one way or the other.
If it's no, then those don't get shown to the jury, right?
They were not lead action or motion.
Okay.
It's a problem.
I'm familiar with what you're referring to. I'm a little less clear on
Sorry,
that.
proffer is, yeah.
Heck, Justice, you're talking about a classic club, not a club. Well, I threw in the word classic, like as in like a standard. I didn't mean it like a. I didn't mean literally like classic club is a thing.
Standard, the basic club sandwich.
I'm ordering a club sandwich. What's going to come on it? And I see a lot of
fentanyl is not an option here.
So everyone, I see. Okay, Attaby's kind of got the right thing I'm looking for here. I mean, a lot of the absolutelys are right. I want you to give me the list of the no's, and it's we're focused again on condiments and sandwich things. Somebody put liverwurst or whatever, or fentanyl. No. Attaby said cheese, turkey, ham, lettuce, tomato, mayo, rye bread. No is avocado, mustard, ketchup, misery, death. Well, okay.
He's
That
very
proffers
serious
the-
about
I'm
it.
not sure the proffer has any impact here. I'm not sure.
I'm very serious because once I discuss this sandwich,
Yeah.
uh,
I mean,
you will all be just as offended as I am.
Sure the jury would ever be made aware of the substance of the proffer. They, as I understand it, under McCullough would only be made aware of evidence related to the substance of what Mr. Norris told investigators and law enforcement.
Your Honor, the proffers do tie into this in that, the question would be, did this inform your investigation? Yes, we considered all of his statements to include the defense proffers in determining that they were just flat out incredible.
Okay.
So that goes to kind of the confusion argument. So in the 403 analysis, Your Honor, I do not think the weight of unfair prejudice to the defense is the same as the weight of any of the 403 factors. I don't think the weight is the same for the state and the defense.
To put a finer point on it, you're concerned that the jury would be confused about who said what when. It's jury confusion that I need.
It's jury confusion.
Right. And
Yes.
so what is it you believe they would be confused about?
I think they would be confused about the effect on law enforcement, which is really what this grounds in, right? This is the effect on the hearer, the effect on law enforcement.
Okay.
And I think those waters.
Jackie Anderson says, was this offensive sandwich a recent purchase? No, this happened in 2017. That's how offensive it is. Or
Still
maybe
angry about it.
2018 that I'm still angry about it almost a decade later. And even my ex-coworkers, when I mailed them the picture of the sandwich, because I went on a rant in the office for an hour and a half, like it wasn't continuous, but it was like over and over and be like, because they kept arguing with me. Like, no, well, you don't like a free sandwich? I'm like, no, things have a name for a reason. This is bullshit.
Yeah.
Would be so muddied in the case of Norris, whereas those waters are crystal clear in the case of Hayden Jeffs and Nick Bonsavage. And the waters muddied as it relates to Mr. Norris very deliberately. And I don't know. I suspect the purpose is to confuse the jury, right?
As you sit here today, have you identified the witness that would testify regarding investigators' knowledge of and response to statements made by David?
I know. Yeah, I don't remember the name. I know the patrol officer. I think I know who he talked to. I think I know who the detective talked to. It also involves my office, right? And so
You'll be able to call an investigator, not a lawyer, right?
right.
Yeah.
So probably 3 witnesses.
Okay. And then who are the witnesses you would call to testify regarding the state's knowledge of and response to Hayden Jeffs' statements to his story? I appreciate that Hayden Jeffs spoke directly to law enforcement in a recorded interview.
Right. That's what we would have to get into. What did you understand? Why? With what level of detail? Which is extraordinary.
And there, as I understand it, the state's position would be, well, if we're not admitting it for the truth, Judge, there's no Crawford problem. So the recorded interview comes in.
100%.
Okay.
And the same thing, by the way, with the Nick Bonsavage jail call, right? That entire jail call comes in lock, stock, and barrel. If we're going to mention it, we're going to mention it all.
Oh, I understand.
And then can I just say one final thing on the unfair prejudice? I think the court, in considering the weight of the various prejudices, the prejudice with admitting Norris versus the prejudice of Hayden Jeffs and Bonsavage, I think the court needs to, in the probative value part of that analysis, I think the court needs to consider kind of all of the corroborating evidence and the fact that David Norris's assertion is not at all probative because there is nothing that corroborates it, and it is inconsistent with all the other evidence in the case. Whereas the Bonsavage statement and the Hayden Jeffs statement is highly corroborated with a ton of admitted already evidence in this case.
And just so we're clear, when you're talking about probative value in this context, we're talking about probative value to the defense's theory of incomplete investigation and probative value to the state's response to that theory.
Correct, under the 403
Got it.
balance.
I understand your position.
Okay.
Ms. Lewis, Ms. Nestor, Mr. Ramos, this is high-stakes poker.
Yes, it is. I was just going to ask you if we could have a little time to meet with our client next door. She's got some decisions to make about that.
I want to make sure that you explain to her that if you're successful in persuading the court that the substance of David Norris's statements should come in not for their truth, but for their effect upon law enforcement and investigators, for their probative value to the defendant's theory of incomplete or incompetent investigation. That, by extent, my view is that I need to allow the state to respond to that theory by, among other things, admitting evidence of their knowledge of in response to statements made by Hayden Jeffs and Mr. Bonsavage, not for their truth, but to show what they were doing and how they were doing.
Can I just get a clarification on the bond salvage? I want to make sure I'm on the same page.
Why don't we just get a proffer of it, Mr. Bloodworth, so we're all hearing the same thing at the same time?
Yes, Your Honor. In a March 4th, 2022 jail call between Mr. Bonsavage and an inmate in Gunnison, they're discussing purchasing a PlayStation controller, and they're discussing who's going to pay for it, kind of how to get the money for it. And Nick Bonsavage says to the inmates something like, Carmen will cover it. She just made money selling fentanyl.
So this is RDN other than we substituted the word fentanyl for illicit street drugs.
Right, and that's a recording.
It is a recording.
As is Hayden Jeff's interview with Law.
And the upshot proffer of that interview, and this occurs many times, there are pages of transcript on this subject, but the upshot of the proffer is that Kouri Richins asked me to buy her fentanyl. I explained to her, in really colorful language, how dangerous it is. She wants to stay away from it. Who on earth would want fentanyl? And then there's a second phone call where she calls back and asks for the Michael Jackson stuff, and they get into a propofol discussion.
Okay. How much time do you want, Ms.
We have 30 minutes.
It's fine.
Thank you, Your Honor. Your Honor, thank you for the break. We appreciated that. So we have reviewed the case. We clearly understand the court's ruling that if any of it comes in, all of it comes in. We get that. We also understand and appreciate that the court is going to require proper foundation, and we're not skipping any steps. We accept the state's representation in good faith.
Okay. It just started to pull out there with some options on it. What ingredient would never be on a club sandwich you would ever expect to order? Let's see the results.
That Officer O'Driscole,
We'll give it 10 minutes.
He is not the foundation witness because he is not the individual who communicated with Mr. Norris. And we will, if we proceed with this line of questioning and we decide to introduce this evidence, we will do it through the proper foundational witnesses, which we accept as not him. So to avoid
Oh shit! I just
confusion now,
realized what I
since
did.
it's
Hold on
not
a sec.
him, we will wait and not ask the questions
ending it.
that he
I gotta
doesn't
do new
have, because
option.
it's like you said, there's no way to ask the question without introducing the substance. We couldn't figure out how to do that. So we're going to wait until we have a foundational witness, and then we will proceed that way if we can lay a foundation.
Okay.
And if we decide to go forward with that evidence.
I appreciate that. If you make that ultimate decision,
We'll give everyone a heads
I
up.
appreciate that. And one of the reasons I would need that is to make sure I give defense an opportunity to state on the record, or at least summarize on the record, their strategic balancing of the risks and benefits so that there is a record of that going forward.
I appreciate that, and I think that's probably a good idea for everyone,
Okay, very
including
good.
us.
So, Mr. Bloodworth, because the defense will not be opening the door to any portion of its incomplete investigation related to David Norris through Detective O'Driscoll, I don't believe the state would be permitted to respond to it.
Because I gave a couple ones out there. So I took out whole wheat bun and I put in none of these should ever be on it as the fourth option.
Yet. Is that your view?
That is my view of it, Your Honor.
Okay. So, as a matter of status quo, we are going to proceed with additional cross-examination of Detective O'Driscoll, correct?
Yep.
Did we reach I'm sorry.
Could we just go ahead and, well, I can just do it I think we decided I'd just ask him about 340. I'm sorry, and I apologize. I withdraw.
I was about to ask, did we reach an endpoint regarding 340 and the photograph?
So the plan is to introduce the stipulated 340, which we'll get in. And then I will ask him
Let it go for
if
5
he can
minutes.
identify the photo. If he can't, he can't, but I'm going to try.
Okay.
And I'm not going to get into the substance of any of the bubbles, and I'm not going to introduce the bubbles or any of that.
Okay.
The only thing I'm going to display to the jury will be the picture on 340. And then I may have it side by side in front of O'Driscoll so he can compare and refresh on the one that's not getting introduced.
And to the extent you ask him about whether it was sent as part of text messages between
Only the date.
Eric and Kouri on the date, it's a yes or no question.
Correct. Just on the date, not the time, because I don't want to confuse anyone or require the UTC time or any of that.
Jill Cupstas says, I'm just like, what was the point of all the arguing this morning about Norris when they were resting? No, they were trying to get Norris's unsupported hearsay in through Detective O'Driscoll because they knew they weren't going to quit call any witnesses.
That conversation, and the time really is irrelevant to us. I believe when we
This
stopped
is not
yesterday,
a trick question, by the way.
we were talking about the JIFS or GIFs, and I want to start by having you review a document that's been agreed to by the parties. It is exhibit number 3-40, and at this point, Your Honor, we're asking to admit it per stipulation of the parties.
So the witness can see 3. And do we want to publish now, counsel?
Please.
Mr. Bloodworth?
No objections.
State's exhibit 3-40 is admitted.
All right, and this was talked about when, I believe it was Mr. Kostradimos, I think, it's all blurring together now, was on the stand, but this is the group
We got 329 people in here, and we've got 116 likes.
of all the GIFs or the GIFs that were in kind of a group, and included the ones that were accessed on the morning after the police left Ms. Richins' home, after Mr. Richins passed. Do you remember the testimony about that?
Yes.
Okay. Can we go to the page that shows the GIFs in question? Maybe blow that up at the top. So I think that's 2 of them. One of them is from, I guess, the movie Dumb and Dumber. And the other one is our president.
And it's him crying with money, drying up his tears. How is this funny to you against this Dumb and Dumber? I mean, it's all good. It's all lighthearted when it comes to murder.
Dumb and Dumber, all right.
And I think there was a third one, but it's, Mr. Spacey and in a TV program, right? And those are the 3 GIFs that were
House of Cards, just like Kouri Richins' business in life.
talked about. And if you blow up the time that they were accessed, they all were accessed at 8:29:03 a.m. on March the 4th. That's the day that Mr. Richins was found deceased, correct?
Correct.
All right. And I know we've already heard the testimony that these are what we call orphaned GIFs. You can't really tell which text they came with and exactly when they were sent or who they were sent to or by. All we know is that they were somehow accessed at that point by her phone, correct?
That was the testimony, Mr. Kostradimos, yes.
Okay. Can you pull up another one of the photos? That is the picture from the house. That's it. All right. This is another picture that was accessed at that exact moment at 8:29. And can you blow the picture up a little bit? Do you recognize what that is, that photograph?
It's the legacy home.
It's the legacy home, right? And was there another photo that was accessed that same morning, also orphaned? Can you find that picture right above it, I think? There we go. Can you blow that picture up a little bit? Thank you. All right. And is that also just a closer up view of the legacy mansion?
It appears so. It's very blurry on my screen.
It is. I think it is blurry. And then can you back out and show the time that one was accessed according to this same group of photos? That one appears to have been accessed at 10:42 a.m. the same morning.
That's what this document says, yes.
Okay. Now, if we could put just on the witness's screen, exhibit JO, I think it's 11, not for the publication yet, Your Honor.
Understood.
All right. And can you take just a moment and blow that up just a little bit so he can read it better? Right. Just take a second and scroll through that and tell me if that refreshes your recollection about any documents you reviewed about Eric's final communications before he passed.
Your Honor, objection. There's no foundation to get to whether or not his recollection requires refreshment.
Yeah, let's pause there. Would you lay a little bit of foundation before we get there?
Sure. And it requires us to go back to yesterday. So yesterday I had asked you right before we stopped if you had, as part of your investigation, reviewed the final communications of Eric right before he passed away, and you mentioned you had. Is that correct?
Yes.
All right. Based on that, if you could refresh, do you recall the communications you reviewed that day?
Not all of them. Some of them, yeah.
Can we then please blow up this document in front of him and see if this refreshes your recollection as to what you reviewed?
Mr. Bloodworth, the witness doesn't have it yet. Any objection to that?
Your Honor, I think the objection foundation, I think they're required.
I think the question pending is, are these among the things he reviewed?
Maybe I misunderstood.
That's the question.
So I think.
If we back up a step, maybe.
Ms. Nesser, ask your last question one more time.
Are these texts that are before you part of what you reviewed from Eric's final communications on his phone?
Go one step before that. He hasn't seen these. You currently have them in front of him.
Do you recall all of the communications you saw that day when you were reviewing Eric's final communications?
All the texts from his phone
Yes.
on the day before he died?
Yes.
I don't remember all of them. I remember some of them.
So then would you please look at this document and see if it refreshes your recollection and as to whether these were included in his communications?
Any objection, Mr. Bloodworth?
No, sir.
Okay. Witness can now see what you're referring.
Thank you, Your Honor. And can you go down just one more and maybe blow that up a little, that photo? Does this refresh your recollection, these communications of Eric's and Kouri's the day he died?
These are time-stamped March 3rd. That's not the day he died, but the day before he died.
Totally correct, because he died in we think, the early morning hours of the 4th, right?
Yeah, he was pronounced deceased on the 4th.
Okay.
Yes,
So,
sorry, objection. Foundation is the meaning of died.
He was deceased, but he was killed probably on the 3rd. Okay, so real quick here, we've 6 minutes in, we've got 93 votes. It looks like I'm going to end the poll here because I'm going to do the next one. Which one of these should never be on a club sandwich? Cucumber is at 28, ranch dressing at 24, dill pickle at 2%, and none of them at 46. So, or none of those three. So I think dill pickle kind of like edge stuff out because people thought, yeah, maybe it's on the side. But okay, we're going to get our next set of questions here. I marked these down for posterity's sake. And I know these are first world problems, but a decade on, it is still bothering me.
Yeah, well, there you go.
Right.
The principle of it.
He was pronounced dead.
But I think the witness and the questioning lawyer have a common understanding here. Overruled.
thank you, Your Honor. Okay, so were these included in what you reviewed in the communications between Eric and Kouri on the 3rd of March?
Yes.
All right. And this photograph, if you could blow that up.
Your Honor, objection. His recollection has been refreshed. I think the exhibit can now be set aside.
I'm not publishing it. I've just got one more question about the photo and then I'm done.
I'll take it down, ask your question. If we need to refresh again, you can.
Okay, thank you.
Okay.
Wait, did you tell me I could ask the question?
Yeah, I took the photo down. Ask whatever you're about
Yes.
to say.
Does the photo that you just refreshed your recollection with match the same photo that we just saw in 340? That was the corner of the Midway Mansion.
Your Honor, the photo's still up on my screen and the witness is
My apologies. There you go.
staring at it.
Sorry. Is it the same photo, sir?
This one that we just saw that was enlarged, you're asking if that's the same as the one in the text message?
Does it match the one that we just put on the screen for the jurors that came with all those other pictures that morning?
Yes.
Thank you. That's all I have. I'm done with that. I'm sorry. Maybe I'm not. Can I have just one moment, Your Honor?
Correct.
Oh, one more step. If we could go back to 340, which has been admitted, and pull up some additional gifts that were accessed at that same time. If we could pull those up, please.
Sure. There you go.
Okay, so there's the picture on the bottom left-hand corner of the Midway Mansion house, right?
Yes.
And that one was accessed at 10:42 a.m. the morning of the 4th?
Yes.
And the one with the champagne is also that exact same time?
Yes.
And the one with the farmer is that exact same time?
Yes.
And we know for sure that the one on the bottom left was sent the day before because we just looked at that, right? And you refreshed your recollection.
All right,
Yeah, I don't know
polls
if the
up.
heart of the extraction that we're looking at right now is saying that that's where that came from. I don't know if that's the same file path, but the photo is the same.
Perfect. Okay, we can take that.
People, I encourage you, read all the options before you click on something.
Yeah, nobody cares about
I
this
also
anymore.
want to
Now
talk to
they're
you
doing it
about,
on
sorry,
sandwich.
I don't care about this. I'm just trying to get through it.
startle me.
No, I know. None of
I
us
also
do.
want to talk
That's
to
all
you
right.
about the Google searches that were testified about here that were on Ms. Richins' phone or computer or both. Did you review those as part of your investigation?
Yes.
All right. And were you able to determine dates on all of those searches when they were made?
I don't believe so. Yeah, that would be a question for Mr. Kouri. I remember seeing the searches and the text of the searches, but I believe he testified that that there wasn't a timestamp associated with them and that they differed from the action in the phone that showed that a link was actually clicked on from one of those searches.
Okay, perfect.
And I believe those had timestamps.
Okay, the links, but maybe not the searches.
Correct.
Thank you for that clarification. And you agree that as of April the 13th of 2022, approximately a month and a few days after Eric passed away, that Ms. Richins' house was searched and she was detained in a police vehicle, right?
Objection, Your Honor. Foundation, yeah.
Sustained.
Are you aware that there was a search conducted on her house on April 13th?
On Miss Richins' house?
Yes.
Yes.
And are you aware that while that search was being conducted, Ms. Richins was temporarily detained in a police vehicle for a period of time?
Objection, Your Honor, calls for a legal.
Overruled on that.
Go ahead.
I think the word detained is the problem there. I think there's been dispute over whether or not she was.
I mean, I don't know what a pepperoncini is, Jackie Anderson, but no, it doesn't have to be limited to tangy pepperoncinis.
Was detained, but she was spoken to. She was asked to wait in law enforcement's vehicle until the lead detective could come speak to her about what was going on with the search.
So the searches on the website, fair to say that all of those searches are believed to have occurred after April 13th of 2022?
I don't know. Like I said, I don't know there were timestamps on the searches, so I can't be sure.
Did you ever interview any of Kouri's family or friends and ask them if they were responsible for any of those or if they'd ever seen Kouri do it or who did those searches?
No.
Okay. All right, I'd like to talk about the orange notebook for just a moment. We pulled up, we have the
That was strict number
do you
3,
have that
Miagarita.
orange notebook exhibit. I can't remember the number of it. court's indulgence for just a minute. I have, I'm sorry, Your Honor. It's hard to keep all these exhibits straight. Can we put up exhibit 2-66R? It's admitted, Your Honor. Oh, wait, I'm sorry. Before we do that.
Yeah, it's hard to keep all these exhibits straight.
Yeah, what am I, a lawyer?
What am I, a lawyer? What do I have, a team behind me?
Can we put up exhibit, 2-66R? We don't have they redacted part of it, and we don't have that.
Scott, 2-66R, please.
Would he be so kind? I don't want to accidentally put something up that was redacted.
My apologies. We'll fix that. Okay. What about if we do our normal dance? I'd appreciate it. 2-66R. Publish.
Yes, please, Your Honor.
There you go.
All right, and can we, that's what we like to call the orange notebook, right? Because it's like in an orange kid's school notebook, right?
Correct.
Okay, and can you fast forward, Katie, to until I tell you to stop? Keep going, keep going. Okay, right there. You blow out the bottom third of the page. All right, so this orange notebook that was recovered from the house, you don't have any knowledge about the circumstances under which it was prepared, do you? Or why it was written?
I do not.
And you don't know when it was written?
No, I don't.
And this was seized the day Ms. Richins was arrested, which was May 8th, 2023, correct?
I believe so, yeah.
So over a year after Eric's death, right?
Correct.
All right, and here on there is an entry that says on March the 22nd, can you highlight that, please, Katie? Kouri starts counseling. Do you see that? Mm-hmm. You need to say yes.
Yes, sorry.
Did you take any steps to verify if that actually was the date she started doing mental health counseling?
I don't know why this would matter. Why would the state need to verify? Why would the investigators care if she started mental health counseling? Because somebody that killed their spouse would just as easily, in trying to cover it up, would just as easily like do it out of pretend, so it doesn't prove anything, right? You know what I'm saying, Suma? Okay.
I didn't learn anything about her counseling from interviews that we conducted. We did get Kouri's medical records, and I don't remember if a mental health counselor was part of those, but that's possible.
And I imagine as a, I forgot the word you used, as a serious crime investigator, homicide investigator.
I really hate when she keeps referring. Well, if this is a serious crime. You should treat this investigation seriously, right?
Yeah.
Detective, death scene investigator. You've dealt with a lot of victims and family members who've been traumatized by a death and have required counseling. Is that fair?
My involvement with victims doesn't usually go that far to know whether they sought counseling or not. We refer them to the Victims Advocate Service, and they're much more equipped to help them with that.
Great. And have you ever heard of what's called
All right, we'll let the club poll go for one more minute, then I'm going to do a new one.
trauma journaling? Do you know what that is? Okay. I'll move on. I'm done with it.
Are we approaching our approach? Got it.
We are moving on from the subject matter.
Very good.
All right. You also talked about the.
Wait, what was the question they jumped over?
You need to say yes.
Yes, sorry.
Did you take any steps to verify if that actually was the date she started doing mental health counseling?
I didn't learn anything about her counseling from interviews that we conducted. We did get Kouri's medical records, and I don't remember if a mental health counselor was part of those, but that's possible.
And I imagine as a, I forgot the word you used, as a serious crime investigator, homicide investigator, detective, death scene investigator, you've dealt with a lot of victims and family members who've been traumatized by a death and have required counseling. Is that fair?
My involvement with victims doesn't usually go that far to know whether they sought counseling or not. We refer them to the Victims Advocate Service, and they're much more equipped to help them with that.
Great. And have you ever heard of what's called trauma journaling?
No.
Do you know what that is?
No.
Okay.
Yeah, defense is testifying here. Trauma journaling.
I want the word trauma just removed for a while.
Trauma bonding.
Move on. I'm done with it.
Are we approaching our
I mean, because here's the question: does that mean all this stuff is fake in here, or does it make it real? Because if it makes it real, I have some questions.
approach? Got it.
Well, that's
We
the
are moving on
problem
from the
with
subject matter.
everything having to do with Kouri is, all of their arguments. That's basically the question. Because if one is real, then the other one is not real, and
Yeah, it's always conflicting.
yeah.
Right. That's why I think it'd be good this weekend to go back through like what is the outstanding stuff, right? So I mean,
Yeah. I also
you
kind of
also
like
talked about the.
maybe I'm going to zoom in and see what else is on those pages that we're not reading. I like doing that.
the ones that the defense is putting up.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I didn't do it today because I really didn't
No,
give a
I
shit.
Fact that you found it, I think you said
Best thing.
suspicious, but I don't want to put that word in your mouth, but it was of significance to you that Carmen had placed Mr. Richins' obituary on her memory wall or her inspiration wall or whatever. Is that right?
I noticed it. Yeah. I mean, it was something that caught my eye.
Did you happen to notice if there were any other obituaries right around it or next to it?
No, I didn't particularly know.
Can we pull
So she has more than one obituary, therefore she doesn't care about either of them.
up exhibit? Yes, the second one, 816R. Oh, it's 15? Okay, 815R. And that's in, Your Honor, if we could publish it.
I can't see. Oh, you don't have it. My apologies. Sorry.
All right, so we're at the end of the second one. We got 90 votes, 8 minutes in this poll. And the results are, where'd it go? Results are bell peppers, 26% said, whole wheat toasted bun, 18, tangy pepperoncinis, 12%, and none of these should ever be on at 44%. So I guess people expect, what is a pepperoncini?
Isn't it a like hot pepper?
I don't know. People, I guess, expect it to be on there.
No, you're wrong.
Guys,
No,
these
no.
are not trick questions,
No, it's like a
you-
club
if-
sandwich has like 4 ingredients.
right? Like you're thinking, oh, it shouldn't be this one, and it should be that one, but I don't know about the third one, so I got to pick between the first two. No, just pick none. Then this is not a trick poll.
That one's got things
Would you
blurred.
help us out? Thank you. Let's see. This is 8-15R. Let me just make sure this is the one you
one ready.
intended, Ms. Nestor.
That is,
Okay.
because I'm going to need her to blow it up. Can we switch it back to her, please? I'm so sorry. There was a recent version where they blurred a lot of children's faces out and stuff. Okay. Do you remember this picture we introduced of Mr. Richins' obituary on her memory wall?
Yes.
Can you please blow that up, Katie, to show what's right beside it or right under it? Do you see another in loving memory right below it?
Yeah. It looks like a program pamphlet from a funeral.
Okay. All right. Also, the C&E hat, I believe, that was on that wall that you noticed. Did you do any investigation to determine if Carmen actually, if Carmen actually did any work for C&E?
Yeah. Based on our conversations, she never worked for C&E as a company. She did work on the Richins house. She interacted with Eric, but she was never employed by C&E.
Oh, all right. I also want to show you a text as part of your investigation of reviewing text between Eric and Kouri. Katie, if you could pull up exhibit 2-3. Thank you. That's it. Before you look at that, do you recall trying to determine, investigating whether or not Kouri was aware prior to Eric's death that at least some, maybe not the house, but at least some of the assets that belonged to them or to Eric were shielded under some kind of a trust, if she was aware of that before he passed?
Yeah, that was part of our investigation.
Right. And did you review conversations she had with people about that and texts about that and things about that?
I didn't have any recorded conversations that she had. I guess it depends on the timing you're asking about.
Okay, I'd like to refresh your recollection and see if you look at these texts, if it reminds you if this is one of the things you looked at in trying to make that determination, okay?
Okay.
Can you blow that up? It's exhibit 2-3D as in Delta. And just let him look at all of them, please, just slowly. Give him plenty of time to read. Can you go back up? I think we're missing that one. There you go, the next page. Does this refresh your recollection? Do you remember looking at this set of texts between Kouri and Eric?
No, I didn't have time to finish reading that.
Oh, sorry. Keep letting him read it.
Okay.
Does that refresh your recollection? Do you remember reviewing this series of texts between Kouri and Eric relating to the trust?
I don't remember. And the context of those messages, I can't say that that's what they're talking about.
Okay, so this does not refresh your recollection. Okay, court's indulgence for just one. We're working on something, but I'm going to.
All right, new poll is up. Look at the options first before just auto-clicking, because you can't change your answer.
This is important.
Look at all the options.
Ask a couple more, move back, and then we may come back to it once she's done looking. So was it your understanding, without saying anything anyone told you, when you were conducting your investigation, did you become aware that Kouri knew of at least some portion of the some aspect of the trust being created before Eric passed?
More foundation, otherwise it's based on here.
The foundation objection is sustained based upon the witness's prior answer. If you can start smaller, maybe build up to it. Maybe some foundation here.
Did you interview people, look at documents,
There is no option for just ranch.
See
There's an
Corey's
option
mother?
for. Yeah, the crypt keeper.
Yeah, she does not. The years have not been kind to her. Is she wearing a Darth Vader necklace? I don't think so, but that's what it looks like.
Yes. Okay. Hold on a second. The options are mustard by itself, Italian vinaigrette Italian vinaigrette and whatever else, mustard and whatever else, ranch and mustard and mayo all together is one of the options, or none of those options.
Review text to try to inform your investigation as to whether Kouri knew that Eric had created a trust for at least some portion of their assets prior to his death.
I reviewed information about the trust from several different sources. Everything that I reviewed suggested that she was not aware of how the trust worked or the consequences of the trust.
Totally fair. I think you're right about that. But was she aware that it existed?
Objection, Your Honor. Same foundation objection.
Overruled based upon his prior answer. You can answer it.
I can't think of a specific instance, but I think there was some information that might have suggested that.
Okay. All right. Now I want to talk about Valentine's. You were here when Ms. Staking testified to the jury that in a conversation with a bunch of friends, there was some joking references made to Kouri wanting to poison Eric, and then Eric stating he had an allergic reaction and used an EpiPen. You heard that testimony, right?
Objection, Your Honor. Foundation. That's not what happened.
I think your recitation of Ms. Staking's testimony was correct until the last either sentence or clause.
Okay. Did you become aware that at least in some context there was a discussion about the Valentine's Day incident relating to Eric taking an EpiPen, using an EpiPen?
Ms. Staking, from my memory, testified that there was a comment made by Eric in a joking manner that Kouri had tried to poison him. And then she said that Kouri's explanation was that it was an allergic reaction.
And that he used an EpiPen, right? Didn't she say that was the very last thing she said, I think?
I think so.
Okay. So did you do any investigation into whether...
Well, I don't know. Guys, let me know. Are you able to change your vote after you've clicked? I don't even know how it works in there. See, but can you try voting? See if you can change your vote.
Have it.
You have to do it on YouTube. Well, no, I mean, if you want to, I'm just...
or not Eric was treated regularly for allergies.
Yes.
And in fact, he had an allergy doctor. Is that correct?
Yes.
And he had an EpiPen device in the master bathroom that was recovered during the first search.
Probably. I know that there were some located in the refrigerator on one of the searches.
Okay, so people are just auto-clicking. They're not looking at all the options. They're just locking in.
People.
EpiPens, that is.
Did you ever investigate whether Eric discussed this allergic reaction with his doctor, his allergy doctor?
I believe one of our investigators contacted the allergy doctor and conducted an interview. I don't remember what the results or content of that interview was.
Did you determine what Eric was allergic to? Was he allergic to avocados or wheat or peanut oil? Do you know?
From what I remember being told by the investigator that had that conversation, it was like seasonal allergies.
Peanut oil? What does peanut oil have to do with anything?
Trees, grasses, dander, things like that.
Were you ever able to?
No.
I can't change it, but also the ranch mayo thing combo I find to be confusing because that's, I mean, mayo and mustard should, but why are you throwing ranch in there?
No, would all three of them.
No,
that's the
I mean,
option.
no.
Having all three. That's the option.
Okay. Well, because I didn't know I could only pick one. So I picked one and then I was looking at the other options and then it closed.
How many times did you hear me say, read them all before you pick?
Well, yeah. Well, I didn't know pick one because the instructions don't say pick
you don't
one.
You don't know how polls are. How polls work. No, I'm kidding. Yeah, no, they're asking about the peanut oil because of the bagel, but the breakfast sandwich.
Confirm that Eric ever sought any medical treatment for what allegedly happened to him on February 4th.
I'm saying, like me with ADHD, I click on something and I'm like, oh, shit.
Yeah, story of my life.
Because I don't understand the full, I really don't understand the responses on some of these.
Just that in his text message, he mentioned that he might go to the hospital.
And,
so I don't know for sure if he did, but he was feeling bad enough that he thought he might need to.
Wait. Heck, Jess. Did you ever take the SATs? There are no options you agree with. If you don't agree with the bottom three, then you agree with none of these. None of these are the correct answer. None of these should ever be on it. It's not saying one part of these.
That I don't agree with.
No, but if ranch and mustard and mayo is a wrong answer, It doesn't
But if I
matter
can
that
only
you
pick
made
one, because vinaigrette is a wrong answer too, and that's there
no.
too.
There's an answer. None of them. None of them. None of these.
Okay. Well, I think the combination of 3 ingredients, one of which, well, 2 of which could be on a. You can
Right.
have mustard
But
on a,
that's
on
how SATs work. It's this and this and this, and you go, no,
Wrong.
that's not right because one of those is wrong. So then it's none of the above.
Were you ever able to confirm that he did?
No.
All right. I want to also talk to
I'm
you
trying not to
about.
care at all anymore either. That's so bad.
If I had put ranch and poop and mayo, would people still be selecting that?
Miss
Let's go upstairs.
Susan Kohler. Do you know who Susan
up
Kohler is?
upstairs.
Yes.
Who is Susan Kohler?
She's an associate of Carmen Laubers.
Unlikely.
She worked for Doreen Kouri cleaning houses with Carmen Lauber.
And in the course of your investigation, what did you determine, if anything, was the role that Susan Kohler played with respect to this case?
We determined that she sold, I think the number was 15 to 20.
Deborah Rockhill says, okay, time to let us know what you got. Please hear me out. My son with ADHD and OCD doesn't love your. What do you mean? Like, what do I? No, I have ADHD. Or you mean with the sandwich? It'll make itself.
This is the second time I'm going through this. The first time I was alone, and we were.
I think it was like it was an hour long, more than an hour back and
It was
forth.
allergic
I was
to
like, "Are you
avocados."
trying to make a sandwich and you don't want to just ask me what's in it?"
Wait, Sloth Cat is in here. I want to know what Sloth Cat picked. This seems like a trick question. You must work for Xavier. These are not trick questions.
Or wheat or peanut oil. Do you know?
From what I remember being told by the investigator that had that conversation, it was like seasonal
Are they
allergies,
talking about sandwiches too?
trees, grasses, standard, things like that.
Were you ever able to confirm
Kind of.
that Eric ever sought any medical treatment for what allegedly happened
They're
to
talking about the breakfast sandwich.
him on February 14th?
Just in his text
No,
message, he
this is
mentioned
the
that he might
last
go to the
poll
hospital.
before the reveal. This is the last poll before. Actually, no, I'm going to do one more after this, but it's going to be which one of these is a club sandwich.
So I don't know for sure if he did, but he was feeling bad enough that he thought he might need to.
Were you ever able to confirm that he did?
No.
All right. I want to also talk to you
right, we're
about
96. I'm
Miss
gonna end this
Susan
one.
Kohler. Do you know who Susan Kohler is?
Yes.
Who is Susan Kohler?
She's an associate of Carmen Laubers. She worked for Doreen Kouri cleaning houses with Carmen Lauber.
And in the course of your investigation, what did you determine, if anything, was the role that Susan Kohler played with respect to this case?
We determined that she sold, I think the number was 15 to 20 Roxy's or prescription narcotic pain pills to Carmen at the request of Miss Richins.
Okay. And was Miss Susan Kohler offered immunity like Crozier and Carmen Lauber were?
Objection, Your Honor.
Do you know?
The basis of the objection, Mr. Bloodworth. Or do you need to approach?
Rutledge.
Approach for 1 second.
Okay, you're going to approach. We ended the last one. Okay, so what should never be on a club sandwich? The options were mustard, 6%. Ranch and mustard and mayo only got 27%, which seems like the most disgusting combination to me. Italian vinaigrette, 31%. So 31% of you would rather have a sandwich with ranch and mayo and mustard on it as a club sandwich, and 36% said none of these should be ever on it. Okay, now the last poll will be, I'm going to list, okay, listen very carefully, people. I'm going to list multiple options with a list of ingredients. You need to pick which one you would consider the most likely to be, or the most likely to be considered a club. Okay? It doesn't have to be the perfect club. Which one of these is most like a club?
The relevance objection is sustained. Ms. Nestor, please proceed.
Did you ever find any evidence or suggestion that anything Susan Kohler sold to Carmen Lauber contained fentanyl?
We found a bag of loose, I believe they were hydrocodone pills, in the mudroom walkway cabinet in the house. They were tested. They did not contain fentanyl.
You also testified, I think, yesterday that shortly before Eric passed away, he went on a hunting trip to Mexico. We talked about that a little bit, right?
Mm-hmm. Yes.
Thank you. Was there any effort made to try to track Eric Richins' phone movements while he was in Mexico during that time period?
I don't believe we were able to get any kind of GPS location data from Eric's phone. I think the location data came from call detail records, as was demonstrated by Mr. Kotradimus.
And you also reviewed the phone calls. Well, strike that. I'll strike that, Your Honor. Okay, I think I'm almost done. If I can just confer with counsel, I'm going to wrap it up. All right, we're almost done. So just to recap a couple of days of testimony that got interrupted a lot. This investigation has now extended for a period of over 4 years, right?
Correct.
Okay. And during that 4 years period of time, as recently as less than a month ago, you were still issuing search warrants. Is that right?
Yes.
And there were a total of at least 10 searches by law enforcement of Ms. Richins' home. Is that right?
There were 10 search warrants issued, yeah.
And
Or around 10.
you heard that there's also at least 5 multi-day searches by a private investigator. Is that right?
I don't remember if it was 5 days. He said a couple days.
And the agencies that were involved in this case were the Summit County Sheriff, right?
Correct.
The Medical Examiner's Office.
They're not a law enforcement agency.
Well, they have investigator, right? She testified here.
Yeah.
Okay.
They're a civilian investigator.
Fair. Also,
Fair.
there was a private investigator that was involved in this case and communicated with you and provided information.
No, he was involved in the civil case.
Did he provide you information?
He provided our office information. I never talked to him personally.
All right. The DEA was involved in this case, at least briefly.
They never took any official action. Well, I should restate that. They assisted us with forensic tools,
Okay.
like call detail records and things like that.
Homeland Security agent, or I'm sorry, U.S. Postal Service agent was at one of the searches, right?
Yeah, I was aware of that.
We've heard, I believe that we're over 45 witnesses now in this trial. Is that right?
I haven't been counting.
And in all of that, we have no murder weapon. Like, you haven't found anything that was connected to Eric's death. No fentanyl in the house, correct?
There was a boatload of fentanyl in his stomach that came out of the house with him.
Other than this, what's in his stomach? Did you find anything else that had fentanyl in it?
No.
Okay. You can't say how the fentanyl was administered, right?
Orally.
Besides orally.
That's all I know is that he took it orally.
We don't know exactly when it happened and what time of night or morning.
We know a time range.
Okay. You can't say the dosage that was ingested, right? 1 pill, 2 pill, 20 pills.
Illicit fentanyl does not come in dosage.
Okay. You can't say what was ingested on Valentine's Day at all, correct?
Fentanyl is definitely ingested. Oh, I'm sorry, on Valentine's Day.
Yes, on Valentine's Day.
No, we don't have any kind of medical examiner's report of his stomach contents from that day.
And on insurance fraud, we have not heard any testimony about any representations that Kouri Richins made to her insurance
Right.
company. Have we?
Objection, Your Honor.
I'm about to launch the last poll. Remember, you can only pick once. Read all the options. Which one of these, if you were blindly choosing, which one of these is a club? All these ingredients. It doesn't mean they're the only ingredients, but these ingredients are on the sandwich. Which one is the club?
If you put a word foundation,
Well, foundation also probably then hearsay.
would you approach for state's objections are overruled? If you would restate that question, if you can, exactly.
I will. And we've not heard any testimony in this case about statements or representations Kouri made to her insurance company, correct?
Not statements. We've heard evidence about it.
Okay. And with respect to the forgery count, we've not heard any testimony one way or the other whether Eric gave Kouri permission to sign his name on documents. Have we?
But it wouldn't matter if he did. It's still illegal.
I don't think that's required to meet the forgery statute.
Have we heard anything about that? Do you know one way or the other whether Eric allowed Kouri to sign his name on documents as a married couple?
No, but that's still signing someone else's name, even if they give you permission, reporting it to be somebody else's signature.
Okay, well, the judge is going to instruct the jury on what the law is about that. But what I'm asking you is, as the investigator, do you have any knowledge one way or the other if Eric ever said to her, hey, it's okay with me, sign my name, I don't have time to deal with it?
I don't know.
And in fact, what we have heard is that he did give her at least one power of attorney at some point years ago, right?
Heck, Jess, I picked the one I think Hear Me Out would hate the most. Yeah, it's pretty obvious. That's what some people are doing, but the joke's on you because I hate most of these, and you're going to be wrong.
Objection. No, well, not objection. Maybe approach.
These results. I mean, I think
What?
I think the results jive with what a real.
I know, but I'm saying some psychopaths out there.
I told you that some people are trolling. You know how people do when there's a poll involved; they just want to be contrary.
Yeah, I got you.
Everyone's life.
Okay, I'll withdraw that question, Your Honor. And you were here.
Wait. All of these sandwiches could include turkey. It's possible. There could be additional ingredients. These are the ones that are
They're just having
absolutely
their own
on it.
conversation. Okay, they're just talking amongst themselves.
When Mr.
Not about
Throckmorton,
you.
the handwriting expert,
Not about
testified,
me.
and you heard him say that he could not say that Kouri Richins was who signed that document. Did you hear him say that?
I heard him say that it was
Probably not Eric.
probably not Eric.
But he could not say that it was signed by Kouri, correct?
Correct.
Okay. I think that's it. I appreciate your patience. Thank you, Detective. Thank you, Your Honor. We tender the witness.
Mr. Bloodworth, within the scope
So, I mean, I paid as much attention to this as I did earlier. I really don't think they did anything.
No.
No.
of cross,
Detective O'Driscole, in this case, are you the lead investigator among many investigators?
Yeah, it's a large team. I've had a lot of help.
Does your job in part involve coordinating the activities of all the other sheriff's office investigators?
Yes.
And are you the lead investigator for the sheriff's office as
Paige, Bacon could be on all of these. This is not a limited list.
opposed to the county attorney's office?
Correct. I have no authority over what the prosecutor's investigator does.
And does the county's, well,
Assume
you may have to
all
answer
of them
this,
at
but does the
Bacon.
county attorney's
I don't give
office
a
have
shit.
its own investigation capability and authority?
Yeah.
Is it your job as lead investigator to be omniscient regarding every investigative detail in this case, to include details of the county attorney?
No, I can't know every single detail. It's, as defense knows, terabytes of information.
And in early 2023, was your personal investigative on determining the source of the fentanyl that caused Eric Richins' death?
Yes, because like I said at the beginning, I came into the investigations division as a narcotics officer. Before I became the lead investigator on this case, that was our focus, is investigating drug-related crime.
In early 2023, did the sheriff's office have a digital forensics capability even remotely close to the capabilities of Mr. Ko40uri?
No, that's why we hired.
And in early 2023, did the sheriff's office have any forensic accounting capability whatsoever?
In which year? Which date did you say?
Early 2020.
They had a little. I mean, how early? Not until March and April.
Well, let me ask you.
January,
this.
zero.
And any forensics accounting capability close to that of
Cassie,
Brooke
that is
Carrington?
not correct.
Oh, I'm sorry. Did you say forensic accounting?
Casey?
Forensic accounting.
I'm sorry. I misheard. I thought you said digital forensics. No, the sheriff's office has no experts in forensic accounting.
And is part of the reason that they have no forensic
Death of a salesman. I Suma, have you never seen me this emotional? You have seen me way more emotional. Like I challenge this
I
statement.
mean, this is just this is a common.
This is like baseline.
Yeah.
forensics accounting experts and minimal digital forensics experts, because you have a small office, right?
Yeah, it's relatively small.
The county attorney's office become involved in this case in early May of 2023 when me charged court.
Yes, we only met with the prosecutors about a week before to give them our probable cause information.
Subsequent to charging Ms. Richins, did the county attorney's office engage Mr. Kochodimos and Ms. Carrington?
Yeah.
And is Mr. Kochodimos the investigator who analyzed the digital forensics, including cell tower mapping and cell phone data?
Yes.
And was it Ms. Carrington that investigated and analyzed the forensic accounting, including the closing on the Midway Mansion?
Yeah.
And does the state provide the material from each of their investigations to the defense in discovery?
As far as I know,
If you recall, in cross-examination, defense counsel picked a sentence from a May 2023 interview of Carmen Lauber, where it was either you or Detective Maynard told Carmen Lauber that she was something like the biggest piece of the puzzle.
yes, I remember that.
What was the context of that comment?
She said something about, can we just lay out all the information, all the pieces in front of us? Because we were trying to establish a timeline. And we told her, you're the biggest piece. You're the biggest part of the information that we don't know. She had the information.
Sorry, I didn't mean to interrupt. And did that context involve a piece of the drug purchase timeline rather than a piece of this whole
Very
giant
soon
case?
here.
Correct. The timeline of her involvement, not necessarily
But we will address the sandwich situation right before they
the
do.
entire case.
And did that interview predate any information?
Oh shit! I wasn't watching the screen. I forgot. I included this part where she's walking, where Nestor's walking. And I was gonna do like
No, you missed your up. Well, you can go back.
No.
Information on the forensic account?
Yes.
And
We
did it,
didn't even get into that until well after.
and did it predate any of Mr. Kochodimos' investigation?
Yes.
And did it predate your understanding of Kouri Richins' relationship with Josh Gross? Do you recall whether that empty 2016 hydrocodone bottle that went with Eric Richins' body to the medical examiner's office, was discarded by the medical examiner's office in August of 2022?
Please lay some foundations to
Do
stay.
you recall what happened with the empty 2016 hydrocodone bottle?
My objection.
Detective, it's yes or no. So
How do you know what happened?
Joe Kate. You would have to point me out to where to look. I heard a little bit of, but if there's one part in particular you want me to look at, like tell me like it was the end of the cross and something. I can look it up for this weekend.
With the 2016 empty hydrocodone
I
bottle.
was told by other investigators that they're
just staying on here.
Did you or Detective May give Carmen Lauber a ride to anywhere other than Wasatch County Drug Court or her attorney's office?
just here to this building
To this building?
to
Or
meet
this
with prosecutors or talk with her attorney. They're here.
Can investigators
What is
force
O'Driscole?
someone anyone to speak with them if that person does not want?
Yeah, but I feel like when they say it, they say Detective Driscoll. They don't say O'Driscoll.
Yeah, I don't. Maybe this is wrong. I don't know. They are
To
wrong.
speak with them? Can investigators see someone's cell phone without a warrant based upon probable cause?
No, it has to be consent or a warrant.
At any time, have
Okay, so there we go. That's why we didn't get. You can't just go out and go, hey, give me Ronnie's phone. Give me. You get a car. You get a car. You get a warrant. You get a warrant. These are all very effective redirect.
you believe that the walk the dog letter gave you
Thank you,
probable
Pamela.
cause to seek a warrant to seize Ronald Darden's cell phone?
No, it didn't contain enough information for me to have gotten a warrant.
Did your investigation determine that the EpiPens recovered from the Richins home were for one of the Richins children?
Yeah.
Again, the one with Kevin Spacey.
Oh, okay. Oh, after the Rule 17? Okay, that's interesting. I'll look at it. That's kind of rough. That's kind of rough on Ramos for him to say that because it never. I don't think I've ever seen it work.
Yeah, he seemed nervous too. It was weird.
Hear me out. Kouri whispered to Gungan, and you heard Gungan say, "Yeah, it's scary." Is that after Ramos came back?
Are we gonna go? I want to look at that.
We can try to find it. Yeah.
That says idiots everywhere. Is that from the?
Okay. We can try and find it after. Which it's in the list. We have to.
I know. Sandwich first.
We have to address the sandwich situation. We have to address the resting, and then we can find this clip.
Without a warrant based upon probable cause?
No, it has to be consent or a warrant.
At any time, have you believed that the walk the dog letter gave you probable cause to seek a warrant
Where before
to
Ramos?
seize Ronald Darden's cell phone?
No, it didn't contain enough information for me to have gotten a warrant.
Did your investigation determine that the EpiPens recovered from the Richins home were for one of the Richins children?
Yeah.
Again, the one with Kevin Spacey that says idiots everywhere. Is that from the TV show House of Cards?
From my understanding, yes.
Thank
Right before
I'm sorry,
Ramos
is he finished?
starts? Okay.
We have no further questions. Thank you.
Well, maybe you should pay attention.
We release this witness.
Yes, Your Honor.
Mr. Bloodworth.
Okay. This is before we get to the next part. So I will address the sandwich situation here. So I'm going to end this poll. What I've determined is approximately 9% of you are definitely psychopaths. So which one of these is most likely a club sandwich? Ham, pepperoni, mustard, dill, onions. 4% of you said that. Yeah, which means 4 because this is basically out of 100. Ham, vinaigrette, mustard, mayo, mustard, and ranch. 3 of you chose that. Ham, mustard, cucumber, pickle, and peppers. 2 of you, and all of those people, those 9 people, chose it over ham, cheese, lettuce, toasted bread.
You want to find out who they are? We block them.
Well, I don't dare block them. They're obviously stone cold psychopaths and killers. Okay, so I will give you the truncated story as I explained to Suma. So this is back.
I would like to just explain that the way I was administered this test was one ingredient at a time.
Yes, and I was saying yes,
Hours.
no, maybe.
I thought, well, let me let this go. Relentless. And then at one point, remember, you were like, I'm waiting for an answer.
I was like, Suma.
Hello?
Because I was like, how do you not know? Are you unsure?
Yeah, I was busy. I said to you, I was like, I was in the shower. Sorry.
I think it was on like, bell peppers or something. You're like, and you didn't respond. I was like, do you really have to think about this one?
Yeah, I like the way you think I'm like glued to my phone answering.
Well, especially if I'm messaging you about something that's very important, right? You're going to drop everything. You're going to put your phone on silent, everything. Hold on.
If you're urinating blood, that's one thing, but this is serious.
Yeah. Okay, so here's the situation. In the office in Seattle proper in 2017 or 2018, and we're doing a working group for our ERP system, and they're like, "Oh, we're ordering in lunch because it's an all day meeting, right?" And I hadn't looked at the email or whatever, and then so the admin person is like, "Hey, we didn't get your order for lunch." I'm like, "Oh, sorry, I didn't see it. Where are we ordering from?" And they're like, "Specialties." I was like, "What kind of place is it?" It's a sandwich shop. And I'm like, just order me a club sandwich. Now, usually with the club sandwich, there's always the risk for me personally of it could come with tomatoes. And I don't really like tomatoes, but I don't mind picking up the top bread, taking out the little toothpick, pulling off the tomato. That's fine. Whatever. right? Maybe it doesn't have mayo on it, and then I could ask you, what side of mayo or something, right? Because a club sandwich should have toasted bread, either one or two layers. Yeah. It should be white bread, but I guess it could be wheat if you special ordered it. But toasted nonetheless.
Yes.
At least ham or turkey, probably both. Lettuce, mayo, cheese, either Swiss and cheddar or one or the other.
American.
Maybe it's got tomato, maybe it doesn't.
Maybe it has bacon, maybe it doesn't.
Yeah, and maybe it has bacon, maybe it doesn't. Right? But I can work with all that.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. So now I want you.
Now
I want you to hear. I'm going to read it first.
The description pulled me back in because I was very angry.
So so I get the sandwich, right? Okay, actually, I should say. So the deliveries come, and I get the sandwich, and it's mine. Oh, you got the club, and I open it. I open up this monstrosity, and I'm like, no, I ordered a club. I'm like, no, that's the club. I'm like, what the is this thing? And I looked at it. I was like, I'm not eating this. I was like, no, I'm not eating it, which pissed me off because I was hungry, right? Because I've been in an all-day meeting for this ERP thing. I was like, I guess, whatever, I'm not eating it. And I get back, I'm not going to describe the ingredients yet, but I get back to the desk in the area, and the other manager and the other, I'm going to say, because it was 90% female company anyway. They were saying like I was being very picky and very spoiled and very ungrateful that I was not choosing to eat the free sandwich because it wasn't exactly how I expected it to be. I'm like, this thing is not a club sandwich. I ordered a club sandwich. If I said, hey, give me, do they have a sandwich called all the random shit in the world? Then it would be, acceptable for
everything that's going bad.
Yeah. Can you just give me sandwich with let's throw like 15 random things on it. Then you could say that I was being ungrateful that, I didn't like my random selection, right? But I ordered a club sandwich. Just like if you order a hamburger, you expect it to be a bun, cheese, and meat at least as its base thing.
I don't even like when they fuck with the bun. Like, don't get fancy with the goddamn bun,
All right,
nothing is better than a hamburger bun.
Here we go. This was the specialties club sandwich.
Who knows, Cliff?
Actually, I'll put it on screen as I read it. Just because, in case people don't believe what I'm talking about. This is the thing that came out of my lunchbox. Club sandwich, a reinvented classic. Okay, right there. If I knew that the word reinvented, if I knew the word reinvented was in their menu descriptions, I would have said, send me 2 pieces of white bread with cheese on it, right? And a slice of ham.
I mean, I could see a twist on a classic. But
a variation. This is reinvent. You don't reinvent a classic. Call it whatever you want. Call it the Downtowner. Call it the Belltown. Call it the Supersizer or something.
Call it the You'll Be Sorry.
But this is not a club sandwich. Here we go. A reinvented classic features hand-carved slices of oven-roasted turkey breast and smoked ham with fresh cheddar and Swiss on a whole wheat untoasted bun. It was just like a hamburger bun, a whole wheat untoasted hamburger bun. Topped with crisp cucumber, bell peppers, hand-sliced tomato, tangy pepperoni, fresh leaf lettuce, red onion, and dill pickle. Then finished with cracked black pepper, mayo, stone ground mustard, ranch dressing, and our zesty Italian vinaigrette. What the literal is that? It is not a club sandwich.
What the?
Go ahead.
He did not have the menu, so he didn't read it. He was just like,
no, that's what I said. I didn't have the menu.
Simple.
But that's the point.
Chose something simple. Yeah. Right.
That's
I know.
The point. You're ordering for the pizzeria? I'll just have a cheese pizza. I'll have a pepperoni pizza or whatever. Mm-hmm. Right?
Yeah.
Now, if I ordered the, what they call the smorgasbord pizza, right? It could come with
Meat
anchovies
lovers,
and everything.
or,
But if I order the pepperoni pizza and it comes loaded with bell peppers, mustard, ranch, just
also, what hand sliced tomatoes? What is that bullshit? As opposed to what? A whole tomato?
tomatoes. Yeah, maybe it's a whole. They have another sandwich with a whole tomato on it.
Hand sliced is such bullshit. I hate that. It's so pretentious and stupid.
Okay, so do you guys all understand these polls that I was asking you? Every single ingredient on it was on the sandwich. So when you're saying like, when I was saying what should never be on it, the answer is all of these should never be on it because they are all on it.
They're trying way too hard. That's what I said. I said, this makes me so angry. So they'd never get away with that here. I'll tell you that much.
But what really irritated me more beyond the irritation of being, what irritated me more beyond the irritation of being hungry during these meetings and everything was the reaction of everyone in the department saying like I was being unreasonable for expecting a club sandwich when I ordered a club sandwich.
Yeah. And this is not just a variation of a theme. This is has nothing to do with a club sandwich.
Both have bread.
And there are a lot of things on this that people in general do not like red onions, for example. There are a lot of people who do not want to. I mean, they're sending this to an office space in the middle of the day. They're going to give raw onions? Come on.
But the other thing was, it was also frustrating because all the sauces they like mustard. I don't like mustard. I like ranch. I like mayo, right? But the mustard, they had like they like were doing a double squirt on the bun, and then it was just, and then they twisted or whatever. So there's no way I could salvage this thing, right? I can't just take off the tomatoes and the onions, and then I like bell peppers. I don't like them on a club sandwich. I mean, the pepperoncinis, whatever the hell that is, and then the bottom bun is soaked in vinaigrette. I'm like, what is this?
Disgusting.
And then like who? Besides it not being a club, how is this a delicious feast for anyone? So, but I got my last laugh. They're out of business. They shut down in Seattle. I even Googled because they still have a location in San Francisco. Guess what's not on the menu anymore?
Their reinvention of the classic.
The club sandwich. Because I guarantee you they got 99% return being like, what the this? This isn't a club sandwich.
I love red onions, but a lot of people don't.
Do you picture yourself? And this is the final test. Do you ever picture yourself going into a restaurant randomly, or I'll have a club, but make sure to hold the pepperoncinis, bell peppers, mustard, vinaigrette, dill pickles.
Are the tomatoes hand sliced? No. All right, no.
Dill pickles.
Do you slice them with your feet?
And can you sub the untoasted whole wheat bun for toasted white bread? Thank you.
Now I've reinvented the reinvention.
Now I've reinvented it back to a club sandwich.
Now keep in mind when he was asking me all these questions, I had no idea why. I was just all this out of nowhere. He was just like, "I'm going to give you a list
purpose."
of things. All right.
Because if I just came out and said, "Hey, look at this. This sandwich is ridiculous," you would have been like, "What?" No, but you have to go.
Reason, but I didn't know what it was, so I thought maybe you were I pictured you like in the kitchen getting the ingredients that I'm
now. You have to go through the experience of finding that there is each and every one of these things on your sandwich that you ordered as a club sandwich. Oh.
I'm not going to.
It was specialties in Seattle, and they're gone. Thank God.
Yeah, in New York City, these people would have been beaten within an inch of their lives.
No, it's not cutting in triangles. It was on a bun. It was like a hamburger, a whole wheat hamburger bun. Not just untoasted, whole wheat. Okay, there we go. We're going to finish this up.
It is ironic that we're having this conversation now because she did try to kill him with a sandwich. So
it is
kind of appropriate.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Do you need a moment on the record outside the presence of the jury?
We do.
Okay. All right, Mr. Bloodworth, we're on the record. The jury is not present. Tell me what's up.
Your Honor, the state's waiting on the defense's decision regarding the Norris matter because
Kim Calta. Does anyone say hamburger sandwich or hot dog sandwich when you're talking about a regular burger or hot dog? I almost backed out of marrying my husband when I heard him and his family say that. I mean, It is.
That's yeah. Where are they from? Those
Not-
people.
If they want to proceed in one fashion, the state will call some additional witness case in chief. If they want to proceed in another fashion.
Oh, I forgot the other thing. The other manager, and because I was like, well, if you like it so much, and you thought once you have it, because I didn't even eat any of it. As soon as I saw it, I was like, what is this? And they're like, yeah, I will. You know, it sounds great. And they took one bite, and they're like, I think I'll finish it at home. And I'm like, exactly.
Then the state will rest.
This is what I was trying to tease out, and I apologize for not being more specific. Given that they did not open the door to this issue through any of the state's witnesses in the state's case of chief so far, I understand the possible order of events from this point forward to be they'll make a decision about whether in the defense case to open the door to it. If they do, the state would be able to respond by, among other things, publishing evidence of Mr. Jeff's statements and, forgive me, the other gentleman,
Bonsavage.
Mr. Bonsavage's statements as part of the state's response to or rebuttal of the defense's theory of a failure or to investigate or incomplete investigation. But they haven't opened the door yet, so I don't think there's any need or ability for the state to get into it in its case in chief.
Okay, Your Honor, then the state rests.
Okay. With the state having rested, Ms. Nestor, does the defense have a motion?
We do, Your Honor. Mr. Ramos is going to take care of that.
Okay. We're back on the record in case 231-500-139. Counsel for the state are present, counsel for defendant and the defendant are present. The issue before the court is defendant's motion for a directed verdict, seeking dismissal of counts 1 through 5 in the operative information. The court finds that the state has established a prima facie case against defendant Kouri Richins by producing believable evidence of each element of each crime charged in the operative information. Defendant's motion for directed verdict is respectfully denied. Ms. Nestor, you asked for time to speak with your client to
Don't
make
worry,
some
I am
strategic
getting
decisions.
the
Between
quotes
now
to
and
that
1
down
p.m.
here.
sufficient time.
Yes, Your Honor.
Okay. Mr. Bloodworth, anything further before we recess until 1 o'clock?
Nothing further, Your Honor.
Ms.
No, sir.
All right. We'll be in recess until 1 p.m., just confirming that to the extent the defendant will be putting on evidence and calling witnesses, you have a couple in the wings. Is that correct?
Yes, sir.
Joe, is it I fucked that up? Is it as he's going back to the table, or is he still standing at the podium? Let me know where to focus on.
Okay. 1 p.m. Thank you for your time. Court's in recess. Mr. Bloodworth, would you like me just to tell the jury when they come back in that the state has rested?
Put a shot.
Yes, so that's fine.
Okay. Will do. Ms. Lewis, Ms. Nestor, what's the plan?
Well, ready to go.
Who's defense counsel's first witness?
Look at this bullshit. I think they didn't want to announce it before, because they're like, well, maybe they're taking back out or whatever. Like, what is this? How you've had an hour and a half, and now you're gonna, even if they were gonna call somebody, why is it?
Can we have just a minute?
Yeah.
We have.
You know you're gonna rest your case at this point.
Maybe
What do you
they
mean?
don't.
No, they do. There's no way they made it up in this minute. There's no way that they decided in this. Well, should we rest our case? Oh yeah. Let's just rest our case. Okay.
Maybe they had one thing that they were like, well, we'll see what, I don't know.
Why wouldn't they have discussed that before? Because the next question is, hey, what witness are you calling?
Yeah, I don't know.
We have a couple of options.
Understood.
Adjourn for the day or something.
No, they said they have a couple of options.
Right.
This is insane.
Yeah, it is.
What do you mean you have a couple options and you rest your case?
All theater. That's what it is. Interesting. Why though? Why? To look more.
That's what I'm saying. Like, even just resting their case, they screw up and make it all complicated.
But
what are they
why?
whispering about? This is all.
She's like, I want a club sandwich, but make sure it's not the reinvented classic because that thing sucks.
Did you order for specialties?
Okay, quickly. I'm gonna give you a list of ingredients. You tell me yes, never, sometimes. Yes.
Okay. You ordered for specialties. Okay, I want the club, but I want no tomato. Or no tomato, no bell peppers, no peppercini. I want white toasted bread. I want no mustard. I want no vinaigrette. I want no.
That could be what they're saying.
As he's walking up to the podium, Kouri whisper to Gungan, okay, I think I might have it.
Oh, is he
Flipping
walking
over
up?
here.
Okay.
Let's listen to that before we hear this next monstrosity a sec. And then we'll just.
No, Ramos wants nothing to do with these two. I get the feeling.
All right, let's see here. Video file. Okay, so I think this is maybe catching the whispers from Gungan and her first.
Motion.
We do, Your Honor. Mr. Ramos is going to take care of that.
I don't know. Is that where that was scary? I didn't hear anything. I couldn't even boost it to hear it. Did you hear anything?
No.
No?
It also doesn't really look like she's talking to him, though. I can't tell.
No, they're talking.
Are they talking to each other?
Kouri and Gungan are talking to each other.
Okay.
Defense have a motion.
We do, Your Honor. Mr. Ramos is going to take care of that.
A little farther. Okay.
For the record.
Well, I guess I missed it, but this should be the I F that up.
Understood. Thank you. Mr. Bloodworth, anything further?
No, Your Honor.
All right, folks. I appreciate the argument. This is an important motion.
What does he say before then? Does he say it when he's at the podium? I F that up?
Let me just take 5 minutes to collect my thoughts, and I'll
edited
give you
at
a
all?
ruling. We'll be at
I mean, it clipped the sections.
recess until
Okay, well, then
5
I don't
of
have
noon.
to
Thank you.
All right.
You'll have to find it in here. Oh, it's not supposed to be?
Is it not? This is.
This is
No, I didn't take out any of the pauses.
Oh, you didn't?
I just look. It's 2 sections up until he walks past, and then once he's at the podium, and then as he was walking back, and then they go into recess. So I don't know. Maybe I'll have to.
I'll check out Law and Order for a second.
Okay. All right. Yeah. Okay. Yeah. If you can find the timestamp, well, maybe we'll play it this weekend, Joe.
You have a couple in the wings. Is that correct?
Yes. Email me.
Okay. 1 p.m. Thank you for your time. Court's in
All right.
recess. Mr. Bloodworth, would you like me just to tell the jury when they come back in that the state has rested?
Yes, so that's fine.
Okay. Will do. Ms. Lewis, Ms. Nestor, what's the plan?
Ready to go.
Who's defense counsel's first?
Ready to go, but you can't answer the first. This is what's ridiculous, right? We're ready to go. Then how do you not have an instant answer for this question?
You have a couple in the wings. Is that correct?
Yes, sir.
Okay. 1 p.m. Thank you for your time. Court's in recess. Mr. Bloodworth, would you like me just to tell the jury when they come back in that the state has rested?
Yes, so that's fine.
Okay. Will do. Ms. Lewis, Ms. Nestor, what's the plan?
Ready to go.
Who's defense counsel's first witness?
No shit. He's gonna want to answer. We were just saying we're ready to go.
Do we have our invisibility cloaks?
Oh,
It almost sounds like she said, Oh, do we? Hmm?
Yeah, I don't understand.
Quick, just a minute.
Yeah.
We have
I thought you were ready to
I mean,
go.
why do they want to look incompetent? That's what I don't get. Like,
No,
is
that's what I'm saying. They're playing games. They're being like, oh, well, what if we say we're going to arrest when we're on break, and then maybe the state can unrest? And then I think Gungan leans on and like, the state already said they arrested, so we could say we arrest out.
yeah.
we have a couple of options.
Understood.
Yeah, Wicked Rose says they probably didn't want to tell before the prosecution rested its case. They would change their mind and call a witness they saved for rebuttal. Well, they didn't save any material witness for rebuttal that didn't already prove their case. This is after an hour and a half lunch break. The prosecution has already said they rested, and the judge said, well, I guess I'll just tell the jury that you rested then. 314 and 327 on Court TV. Is that Court TV, Joe Kate?
You don't want to.
Oh, I just heard it. Did you hear Gungan say it? She said, he already did though.
Oh.
Because, okay, so it's Nestor who doesn't understand. No, don't say it because what if he doesn't rest? And then Zelda's like, he already did though.
I don't understand how they don't know that. No reason for state to change the mind unless they hear that some scary witness.
But Zelda's like, or Gungan's like,
Hi, Allie.
Gungan's like, what if they don't have, what if they don't roast their case? And Zelda says, they already did that. Or did that, whatever.
Did she say we already did that?
She either says they already did though, or they already did that. So Zelda's like, what the hell are you talking about, Gungan? I've been carrying your alien ass for 2 years.
Yeah.
All right, 315, 327. All right, so I'm going to back it up one more time.
Mr. Bloodworth, would you like me just to tell the jury when they come back in that the state has rested?
Yes, so that's fine.
Okay, will do. Ms. Lewis, Ms. Nestor, what's the plan?
Ready to go.
Who's defense counsel's first witness?
Quick, just a minute.
Yeah.
We have a couple of options.
Understood.
This is so messy.
That's what I'm saying. These are not good lawyers. All right, Joe Kate, I got them. I got both. I got 30 seconds on each side.
Your Honor, actually, this time the defense intends to arrest. Your Honor, actually, this time the defense intends to arrest.
Probably do that in front
That
of the
was
jury.
my brain. That was my brain. Oh my God. Where is it?
Time the defense intends to arrest. Your Honor, actually, this time the defense intends to arrest.
probably do that in front of the jury, yes?
Right?
Okay. I just want to make sure you've consulted with your client about this.
Absolutely.
Is now an appropriate time to get a waiver of Ms. Richins' right to testify on this?
Yes, you can.
Okay. You've consulted with Ms. Richins about her, or advised Ms. Richins about her right to testify, correct?
At length.
Okay. Ms. Richins, may I ask you 2 direct questions?
At length, because she definitely wanted to do it. And we kept telling her this is a horrible idea.
Yes.
Do you understand that you have the right to...
Look at those sleeves. What is with these? With this? She's got the wide. What is she? John Travolta in Saturday Night Fever here?
Yes. Correct.
testify at trial?
Yes, I do.
Are you following your attorney's advice and waiving your right to testify at trial?
Yes, I am.
I accept your waiver. I find it's knowing and voluntary. Okay, thank you.
Kouri's very different than she was before.
Let's see if that. Okay, so this is what Joe Kate promised us. Be good. I think maybe I heard it there. She said that was scary. That was scary. By the way, that was at the 3:15 mark. Joe Kate.
You will regret trying to do this with him. You'll see.
No, I'm just saying if I went with the 3:16, we would.
Just saying
like,
you're wrong.
No F.
Wait a
That's
second.
not it. No F. So it's different.
Your Honor, under both Rule 17-0 as well as...
You said 3:14.
Oh, 3:27
Okay.
is fuck.
I think I got those. 1 second. Can everyone just keep in mind I've been drinking?
We know.
Seaman knows. All right. I'm going to go 3.
Yeah, we got to give him this. We got to give him
3:13 and a half to 3:15 and a half, just to be sure. That I'm going to go 3:26 and a half to 3:28 and a half. All right. Sound good. All right. That sounds great. AI dialogue separator, allow lift softer voices and remove background reduction. Okay. Whisper 3, we will call this. Render. $43 seconds to completion.
Hi, Michelle.
That was always the image I had in my head the day I found out that the company I worked for a decade went bankrupt.
Mm-hmm.
But it was the image I had in my head before it went bankrupt. It was always be like, this is how it's going to. This is how it's going to end.
What's happening? Yeah.
Yeah. All right, here we go. Ready?
Of a failure or to investigate or incomplete investigation. But they haven't opened the door yet, so I don't think there's any need or ability for the state to get into it in its case in chief.
Okay, Your Honor, then the state rests.
Okay. With the state having rested, Ms. Nestor, does the defense have a motion?
We do, Your Honor. Mr. Ramos is going to take care of that.
I just heard you okay. Did you hear that? I heard you okay. Gungan says to Kouri, you okay?
Mm-hmm. How's she gonna be okay? You fucked everything up, Gungan.
How do we get all the way back here? You just gave me the timestamps. I just cut it.
We just. Okay.
She said that was scary right there. I got it.
Okay.
Your Honor, under both Rule 17-0 as well as 77-17-13.
By the way, the guy I was always thinking of, and I didn't ever bother bringing up, the guy that this guy reminded me of was a douchey version of the guy that hired me first at Car Toys, Josh, who was just, he was very cool, right? But this is like, you know, if you morphed him into more of a nerd with the glasses and the beaver teeth or whatever. But I remember he hired me and it was great. And then one day he came in on the Saturday early morning meeting. He came in with like a flat bill sideways hat. And I was like, are you for real right now? This is a stereotype.
Casual day, and they just lose all respect.
Team discharged for insufficient evidence. The defense presents the following and moves for a directed verdict. At the conclusion, this is just for the record, Judge, as Your Honor knows, at the conclusion of the evidence by the prosecution, which has just been done, the court may issue an order dismissing any information or indictment.
It's probably a lot extra here. I just made sure to get it all
Yeah,
in.
I'm just curious why we're listening to this whole thing from the beginning again.
Because I did no, it's not. I got 30 seconds on each side. Jeez.
The offense or offenses charged therein or any lesser included offense. Judge, based on the evidence that has been presented over the past 10 days or so, including all inferences, of course, that can be reasonably drawn from the evidence, it is the position of the defense that some evidence exists from which a reasonable jury could find that some, however, not all of the elements of the crimes that have been proven beyond a reasonable doubt.
She looks like she thinks this is actually going to work.
In terms of the sufficiency of the evidence, Judge, I'll start backwards, starting with count 5. With regards to
We're almost halfway through it. Don't worry, everyone.
Even looking at all the inferences in favor of the state,
I thought it was Rule
we do
17.
not believe that the state has proven a specific intent to defraud as it relates to the forgery. There's no proof that the signature was done without error. And
All right, so now we're flipped over. So now we should hear the I fucked that up
leaves us
part.
with the administering of the drug. Zero evidence has been presented besides that fentanyl was in his system, in his gastric, and it was possibly orally ingested. There has been
I don't know, Sophie Matters. I just
in
heard
terms of
17.
the administering of whatever it was at all.
Yeah, she thinks she's going to get the Alec Baldwin ending here. The case, the case is dismissed based on lack of evidence, and then he hugs his family and everything, and she goes, "Oh my God, now I can write my book."
Yeah. Now I can kill my kids after I get insurance on them.
Judge, for those reasons, the defense requests that Your Honor exercise
I lost
your
count.
duty under both the Rule 17 as well as the code, and we move for directed verdict on those counts.
I mean, I'm filling up the glass before it's empty, so.
Judge, for those reasons, unless Your Honor has any questions.
I do not. You'll get the last word.
Thank you.
Hairball yarn. I think somebody told me once, and Cliff, if you're still here, or Rob in the 8 Pro, could tell me. It's either this or right after the verdict is read, where they move for directed verdict to overturn the jury. It's some like kind of procedural thing. You put this in as a motion, and it's denied, and that is what you actually appeal when you go to the Court of Appeals, based on stuff that happened in the trial. So it's not done thinking, oh, this is going to work. It's done like, if we don't do this, then we can't really appeal it. Just like Daryl Brooks didn't do it. Right? He never moved for a directed verdict saying, they failed to establish the elements of the crime. Yeah. It could happen a couple times, but I'm saying it has to be done in order to appeal properly, because that's what you're appealing. The fact that the judge didn't turn it over on direct verdict. Was that where it was?
Oh, I think maybe just before that. Just
Yeah, I heard it.
fuck this up, right?
Did I fuck this up? Yep.
Yeah.
Got it. Thank you, Joe Kate.
Thank you. That was easy.
Questions?
I do not. You'll get the last word.
Thank you.
Did I fuck this up? Well, I don't know how you. That's a little. That makes me like Ramos more, right?
I've grown to like him because, first of all, by default, and also,
Yeah.
he was able to get his shit together quite immediately, which is more than I can say for those other two broads and most people.
But the fact that he doing something that is just a procedural, like, we got to do it. It's not going to work, right? And he has the humility to say, "Did I up?" Right, which he really didn't, right? Because it's a 1% chancer, right? Versus Gungan and Zelda are kind of be all the time. They're like flipping, like, no, I don't care. No, I don't agree. Judge, I think you're wrong. And then they're always talking to each other. They're not talking to Ramos. They're talking to each other.
And when, like, if there's an objection and the judge sustains it and is then having a conversation with the state, she starts arguing with him as if has anything to do. Like,
Yeah.
she's just constantly arguing with him. She has zero respect for him.
And if nothing else, at least after day one, when obviously the internet was ripping him a new one, right? He had the self-confidence and integrity to be like, actually, you know what? I can adjust myself, right? I'm coming a little hard. I'm not yeah, a little hard. Like, I'm not so arrogant that I think, no, I'm not coming out. You don't understand how this works. I'm going to go even farther, which is what Zelda and Gungan seem to be doing when, they have to be reading the same thing. Like, Ramos is probably over them and be like, hey, everyone thinks you're disorganized as
You're assholes.
and you're assholes. And you're talking to each other during the speaking objections. And I'm sure someone's like, oh, yeah, you're still on trial. Talk to us when you have 50 years experience. Like, I don't.
I think who knows what went on with the dynamic there was, but and maybe they told him to be a certain way,
I doubt they told him to be a certain way, because how can you tell, for this fact alone, how can you tell somebody to be a certain way when you refuse to change yourself? Like, you would not, that's an invalid, that's an outlet. Like, hey, you're just,
Well,
you're
people do all the time.
no, but you're like, you are not going to change. I've seen, this is not our first case together. You don't change at all. So I don't know what you're talking about. I want to see it for myself. And they see it and they're like, okay, I'll change it. Yeah. And he did apologize to the witness the next day. He has
I'm saying
humility.
maybe they told him to act a certain way the first day.
Oh, got it. Yeah.
I don't think he seemed to be pretty into it, but it's possible. I mean, he's stuck with these two broads, who knows? He's probably like,
yeah, I could see them amping it up. I mean, even if when you compare it to the interview, right?
They maybe even watched some kind of trial and they were like, do this. This works.
Well, the whole theme in their media appearance was like, the prosecution is just doing all shady shit. And you know what? We have to fight against this injustice because this is Karen Reed 2.0, right? Yeah. Ramos, get on board. That's our message. That's how we're going to do this. So you need to attack the police, because that cross-examination.
Let the jury know you're talking to them because this is all wrong.
The cross-examination is exactly like what you would expect out of the person from Karen Reed. What's his name? The one with the text, the problematic officer, right? You know his name more than I do. Benson or something.
Oh, in
Karen
Reed. Proctor,
right?
Yeah.
You get up there because all these assholes are like Proctor, right? And it's the patrolman being like, I didn't even fill out the I didn't search anything. I was just there to secure the scene and filled out the form. So you just filled out the form, right? Yeah. And then he remembered, like, oh, wait a minute. I look like the asshole now.
Yeah. Now I'm an asshole with these two. Now I'm part of this operation here.
Nicole P says, I just realized their names aren't Zelda and Gungan when I Googled the law firm and saw Star Wars guy popped up. Yeah, it's Gungan.
Yeah, Zelda and Gungan. Zelda, Gungan, and Morgan.
Zelda, Gungan, and Morgan. For those who don't know who Zelda Rubinstein is, let me see. I think I've got a picture. Yeah, here, hold on. Hopefully it's not over the limit. Yep, here we go. It's going to load. This is Zelda Rubinstein from Poltergeist and many other 80s movies. This house is clear. This is Zelda.
I think she was the organ player in 16 Candles.
Yeah, she was. That's what she says. That she
hear her like her flask. Yeah.
Your child needs to know how to come back from the other side. Which one of you is the disciplinary?
No, neither of us are cruel.
Now listen. You must listen. You must tell your daughter to come back. Who is the scariest one? Listen, you gotta say, Wendy, you will come. Oh, yeah. Come to the light, Caroline. Come to the light. You must say it. This house is clear.
Oh, that was good.
All right. Well, I don't think I have anything else. Not that I had anything to begin with. Sumo?
Yeah. I mean, I don't. We went through the sandwich, obviously, and thank God that's over. And
I think the sandwich was the sandwich was the most important.
That was just more important than this nonsense.
The sandwich discussion delivered more knowledge than anything this trial did today.
Absolutely. Cliff did at some point when you were screaming about peppercini or whatever, say that there could be a reason.
When you were screaming about sandwich ingredients, what did Cliff say?
Well, now I'm trying to remember, but something like it's possible they did something. They did a certain thing outside of the jury's presence when to make sure that they rested. I guess that the state rested or something. I don't know.
Oh, the defense did it to make sure that it would be like brought up, and then got it.
It's like I get why they did it, but wasn't necessary, you know. I mean, I just feel like maybe. I mean, I don't know. I just that maybe it's me. I just wouldn't want to look like I can't do my job, but they're well respected, so.
Yeah, remember to hit like and subscribe, people. I mean, we're here all the time, unfortunately, more often than not. And we will I probably won't be live tomorrow. It's always nice for a break, right? Mm-hmm. Unless they're going to stream jury instructions tomorrow. God.
No, they're not going to stream.
Why wouldn't they?
Oh, is that tomorrow? That's not tomorrow. There's no court.
Yeah, they're meeting at 1:00 tomorrow for jury instructions.
Shut
because
up.
Closing's on Monday. So I think the jury's not going to be there, but I think there's going to be a stream. Stream of urine, stream of diarrhea down our faces as we keep listening to this shit.
I don't know. Oh, I didn't know that because they never do court on Friday.
But what they did it last Friday.
I know. You're right.
They've 50% of the Fridays. 50% of the Fridays they've done Fridays.
That's you make a good point. And you know what? This trial has been about like 4 weeks already. So.
No, 3 weeks. It feels like 20 weeks. Yeah, but all right. So what should we listen to as the outro? We're gonna do. You want to do the reading of the sexy, or we'll do the hand grenade outro. How about that?
Good.
Okay. Thank you, Suma, for being here.
Thank you, everyone. And we'll see what happens tomorrow.
And remember, if you're new here, Suma live streams the trial every day as it happens. Her channel is tagged in the description of this, or in the title of this video, so go ahead and subscribe to her.
Thank you.
And make sure to subscribe to this channel so you can find us talking about much more, what's the word?
I don't know, but I'm sure.
I'm like kind of like Kouri the writer, where I can't think of words as a speaker. Much more interesting subjects we talk about. So hilarious.
Yeah.
Yeah. All right.
It's touch and go. Let's be honest.
It is. It really is touch and go.
But when it's good, it's good.
When it's good, it's good. And you're about to see a clip where it's good. So kiss your fingers.
Delete your archives.
Delete your archives. Kissy hard eyes. Kissy face. Goodbye. We were talking about the fat activist who got arrested at the hospital. Remember that the woman who was like 800 pounds? Like,
Yes.
and she's like, rape.
Yeah, they have to like, I don't know. She was just
She's
on a
rolled
tarmac for like 3 hours.
I said, if I ever start making, quote, if I ever start making, quote, body positive, end quote, content, mail me a hand grenade with the pin, without the pin. And then, you followed it up. You followed up with actual LOL. And then I said, if I ever start rating different rascal scooters, mail me some high quality anthrax. Oh, thank you for reminding me of that.
Yeah, thank you for finding it.
Yes, that is my testimony on direct.
Okay. Now let's go to the one of the safe. Can you pull up the clip?